What up? What up? What up?
Come up
Anime.
in the truck, yeah. Get into it, yeah. If you go to church, yeah. Get into it, yeah.
Jackie is on her Doja Cat fix right now.
A
But
wonderful woman.
welcome all our anime heads, and if you happen to be an anime head and an NFL fan, draft night is tonight. So
It is.
hopefully your team does well in the draft. But kind of in honor of draft night, we decided to hold a draft of our own in a sense and select our top three villains for each of us and kind of explain to you why they made our list. And if you would like to participate and tell us why, uh, or if we missed anybody, I suppose, feel free to jump on here, drop them in the comments, and let us know what you think. But for now, we'll go ahead and hit you with this beautiful intro, and then we'll get into the show.
The following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Eat the cake. Eat it. Eat the cake. Yeah. Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Well, alright. I bet you thought you stumbled on another podcast. Of course you're right, but let me tell you about the contrast. It's really different, not an X in front of Comcast. We cover anime today and other times past. Listen and learn in that order, then replay. Be entertained by Mac, Jackie, and EJ. Three hosts doing way more than the most, proving you can pay the lion, but it's all in the approach. Originals and sequels, the newbies and the Ichigos. The world's up in flames to the ones more peaceful. The weapons of the Shuto, manga, Naruto, Monkey D. Luffy, and a lot more that you know. Subscribe, hit the like, give the algorithm life once. We trying to get the same pie that Apple took a bite from. Join the conversation, let us know if you can relate. If not, you still might be forced to eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime.
Yes, y'all. Episode 14, Eat the Cake Anime. Obviously, I am the homie Mac, aka your boy, joined always by my homie EJ, and then of course on the bookend of that, Jackie. How are you guys doing? How was your time? I know it's been a while between since our last episode, but what you guys been up to?
Eric, you go first.
Working on the TTRPG for That Feeling Podcast Network. Had a good first run with everybody, and still working on a lot of stuff.
That is true. We're due to go on this Saturday too over on Patreon. So shameless plug. Nox Eterna over there. And then Jackie, a lot of moves on your end. If you don't follow her on, well, actually, I don't think you shared it on your social media, but
I don't think so.
she's over there controlling Russian fighters trying to shoot. No, I'm playing. She got a little.
I'm the enemy.
I am ready now. I feel safer that the kitty cats made an appearance.
Yep.
Asvidanyats. Whatever they say.
Or whatever they do. Yeah.
I sat my first mission today, learning how to be a Baron controller.
Okay.
It's been a while since I sucked that bad at my job. I had no idea what I was doing, man. They say weird calm. And then tomorrow is my first live mission. So.
Oh yeah.
See how that goes. Yeah.
You're ready to go.
You got this.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a step in a different direction for a little bit, but then.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy because they just talk so much on the radio. Like these nerds literally need to be handheld by like a controller and told where to look, what to do. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to like freaking, oh no, who'd they pick?
Another receiver. I swear to God, Lord. Anyway, I'm sorry.
The Panthers pick is in. Willie is disappointed.
So I'm guessing that
it's normal. This is normal for this time of year for your boy. So
so the passing game isn't where you feel like they need the help.
No, because Our defense was like second to last. No pressure
Yeah,
on
defense sucks.
all of these pass rushers available. I'm thinking we're getting Jalen Walk from Georgia, but never mind. Anyway, happy thoughts, guys. Let's talk about happy.
Happy thoughts. But yeah, anyways, I be working a lot, and now I'm on the enemy side and learning that, and being a senior enlisted leader.
Ooh,
So
SPL life.
yeah,
Mm,
learning all that.
responsibility.
Big responsibility.
Being a grown up. It just sucks.
Other than that,
Well,
it's
yeah,
y'all.
it's been a while, but we're back now.
We
And
are
like you said, we're talking our top 3 villains. We'll probably throw that honorable mention in there as well. But as always, if you are listening, if you are watching, we appreciate you guys. Feel free to come through, drop your favorite baddies in the comments, and we'll get to them and talk about them as well. But
absolutely.
for now, who would like to start off talking about I guess this would be their number 3 pick
Number
for
3.
Oh,
who we got?
I say Jackie goes. Ladies first. Show us some evil.
I didn't rank them.
Well, just pick the one that you would put as your third pick.
Let's see. I did rank them by pettiness. I'm not gonna lie.
The pettiness ranking.
I did, man. I realized as I was doing research, I was like, damn, I'm really picking all the like villains that are petty. Okay. I'll say my number 3 pick is gonna be old dude that I got here behind me, Naraku from Inuyasha. For all my people that may or may not be watching this, that old school, you stay up until either 11 p.m. or 3 o'clock in the morning and
Yes.
yeah, yeah, all the memories.
The vibe.
But anyways, I'll just do a quick like synopsis about this dude and talk about why I think this man is super petty and why I think he's a huge villain. So if y'all haven't seen Inuyasha, he's just the main villain. There's other villains, but he's the main guy. There's no like other underlying villains. He's the end goal, and by the time the show finishes, like that is like who they go to battle basically. But this dude started off as a human bandit named Onigumo, who was like doing a lot of crazy shit, killing people, stealing things, whatever. And he gets burned super badly, and he ends up getting like saved by this priestess named Kikyo, and he falls in love with her. Right? Go figure. Well, he learns that Kikyo is protecting this thing called the Shikon Jewel that's supposed to grant you any wishes. And he's like, I want that because I want to be super strong and healed so that way I can make Kikyo mine, but also take control of the Shikon Jewel because he's a greedy motherfucker. So
Sounds like a solid plan.
realizes he's not going to be able to get the Shikon Jewel, so he decides to make a deal with a demon, and he ends up absorbing a bunch of demons into himself, and then, alas, he becomes this guy, Naraku. Okay? Naraku is now like a new being, but he still has like Onigumo's heart, so he still has feelings for Kikyo. So even though he still has feelings for Kikyo, he's like, okay, well, I want my bitch back now. Like, I want the woman that took care of me. Well, he finds out that she's in love with this half demon named Inuyasha. Okay. And he's like, I don't like that. So I'm now going to transform in Inuyasha and pretend to steal the Shikon Jewel and then make her think that he's betraying her. To which then she tries to kill him, or she feels like she's betrayed. And then he then turns around and turns into Kikyo and then decides to betray Inuyasha, which Inuyasha's like, what the hell? I thought that you loved me. She's like, who would ever love a half demon? Even though the whole time she's like, I love you the way that you are. So now Inuyasha's pissed. He ends up actually stealing the Shikon Jewel. And then Kikyo, she ends up killing Inuyasha. Okay. Fast forward a few hundred years later, is insert the main freaking character, Kagome, love interest that comes after Kikyo. And Naraku's still alive, upset as fuck that Inuyasha still lives, and he doesn't have the Shikon jewel, and he still loves Kikyo. Well, Kagome comes out of nowhere, and she's the reincarnation of Kikyo, so he's like, God damn it, I have to deal with another bitch. Again, that's just like Kikyo, but it's not Kikyo. Because Kikyo's dead.
It's like the "You Remind Me" song.
So then what's happening is the Shikon jewel ends up like getting reborn back into Kagome, whatever, and then the first episode, if you watch it, is Kagome destroying the jewels and they get shattered across the world. And then that's what starts their whole journey, where Naraku is like the main point of interest, basically. And he's just like super fucking upset because somehow Kikyo is still living and there's like other things to it or whatever. The reason why I think this man, first of all, why I think he's petty, okay, is because of what I just said. The fact that he was in love with this chick and he's like, no, I don't like that. So he transforms into Inuyasha and then also transforms into Kikyo to basically betray or pit them against each other to make them feel like they're betrayed, and they both end up dying because of that. And then he doesn't even get what he wants because Kikyo died with the jewel, so he doesn't even get what he fucking wants. But then Kagome comes hundreds of years later, looking and smelling like Kikyo to him, and also the jewel was reincarnated in her body, and he's like, hell yeah. So then he spends the next, like, however long time, again, going after her, and again, trying to, like, constantly pit them against each other by, like, gaslighting the fuck out of both of them, and he doesn't even show up in his own body. He shows up in a bamboo suit, and it's a fake-ass body that he just made out of other demons. The dude doesn't even show up himself. He just sends other people to do his bidding, and they're like, you can't even face me. He's like, what are you talking about, Inuyasha? And then Inuyasha just Iron Reaver, Soul Reavers his fucking head off, and then just a bunch of bugs go out of nowhere. Not only that, this dude is such a pussy. Anytime that he goes to meet this group, he brings these like poisonous bugs because one of the characters has a wind tunnel, and if he uses it, he will like bring in the poisonous bugs and get poisoned. So then now that dude just becomes a useless member of the party because he can't fucking do anything, because the one thing he can do, he's gonna get poisoned.
Right.
So I just think this dude is so evil, or is a villain, because he doesn't care about anyone else except himself and just keeps doing petty ass shit to just pit these people against each other, but is also a pussy on the inside forever, and he ends up dying anyways.
So he likes old girl that likes Inuyasha, right?
He doesn't like Kagome. So when he turns into a demon, he loses his sense of like human brain, but he still has Onigumo's heart, which longs after Kikyo still.
Oh.
So the whole show is like him still trying to break away from Kikyo, but like use her and also use Kagome to get still after Inuyasha to get the jewels. So he can become, what he wants to do is become full demon and get rid of Onigumo's heart, and then he's the most powerful demon. The whole show is basically around him and Inuyasha's group trying to get the Shikon jewel, so that way they can make their wish, which Inuyasha's to become full demon, and Naraku's is too, because Naraku has that heart.
Oh.
But the whole time he just keeps fucking with them, and he's just sitting in some temple in the mountains watching things happen from a mirror.
So he wasn't really about that action then.
No, he never was. Not until like later.
No swords clashing with our homeboy Inuyasha?
Anytime you think that they fight, it's not him.
Someone else.
It's never him.
It's always
he never shows up.
In...
He's never there. And then you think so there's Inuyasha and then Inuyasha the final act. And the final act is, as it fucking sounds, the final act, right? So like, okay, cool, we're gonna be like there. But the first half, the end like lasts like 5 episodes. It's like leading up to the battle, and you think that's gonna be the end, and it's still not him. It's still not him. It's so annoying, man. And then even when you think you do,
dude, he's like,
yeah. And then even when you do think you kill him, he puts his heart somewhere else, so you never know where the heart is.
That's a Voldemort style move right there.
Yeah, he is a Voldemort with fucking hair and makeup.
So he's a better looking Voldemort, which
He
isn't
is.
hard. As long as you have a nose, you're
Got a
already
nose.
halfway there.
Yeah.
Naraku is known as the more hotter villain. I will say that.
Well, he does have them. He has them bedroom eyes going on right there behind you. So
Would he make your list of possible husbandos?
No, because he'd kill me.
yeah, it's not worth it.
He don't care. Like he created some demons, like from his own flesh, and they end up having minds of their own as well. And like one of the ones is her name's Kagra, and she's a wind demon, and she like wants to like get away. So she ends up conspiring with with Inuyasha's brother, Sesshomaru, to try and like get him to kill Naraku so she can actually be free. But this whole time Naraku knows what she's doing. He's like letting her do it so he can like wait at the front door like disappointed fucking dad and be like, Kagura, come here. And it's like, dude.
Yeah.
And then he just like sits there and crushes like her heart till she's almost dead and then lets go, and he just keeps doing it to like remind her that like he can kill her at any moment.
So is he like from episode 1 till the end?
Yeah.
So like the longevity.
So he kind of yeah. So he kind of he's talked about in the first episode because they talk about
they don't reveal everything.
The whole reason why this show exists is literally because of 50 years in feudal era past. This dude fell in love with a woman and got pissed off because he couldn't have her, and so he pitted them against each other. Typical fucking insecure male behavior.
Yeah.
I've seen shit like that happen in real life with mortal people. So
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Imagine if some of these men actually had fucking powers. Okay, they'd be summoning demons.
Yeah.
And then not showing up to the fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I like wrote a bunch of other stuff about like things that he did that pissed me off. Like, yeah, the most annoying thing about him is that he never shows his face. It's just so annoying. Yeah, anytime his body shows up at any fight, it's fake, made from a bunch of yokai, demons for noobs, to just antagonize the cast, and he fucking dips with a smirk on his face. Every time.
Well, he's one of those kind of villains then that, or his intellect constantly is used to spurn your hatred towards him. So.
Dude, I don't know. Like it was even when I watch the show sometimes, anytime that he pops up, I'm like, I'm gonna hate this.
Yeah.
This guy again.
This guy. He's about to screw them over. So
he's always smiling too, man. You're like, what are you?
I haven't watched this, but the way you're explaining it is like, so he's the ultimate. He's the main baddie, and you're just like,
yeah.
I would just love to see some interaction between him and the pro tag. Like,
no, he makes everyone else do his dirty work.
That's what I'm saying. So he's just sitting in the cut, sending foot soldiers, almost like like Power Rangers, how Rita would just always send motherfuckers to Earth.
He's like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
Yes, he's always conspiring, and then he's always finding someone new to do something. He's like, he'll follow the crew, right, and see what like next place that they're going to. He's like, oh, let me go find a victim, and let me like one of the most notable things that he does, which is where I think makes him truly evil, is one of the main characters named Songo. Her backstory is really sad. Her entire village gets slaughtered by demons, which Naraku was directly involved. He was directly involved in pretty much everyone's like history or downfall. He's in charge of the curse that's on one of the characters of why his entire family will always have a wind tunnel in their hand, which it like increases in size gradually till it like will absorb them to death.
Yeah.
Songo, he killed her entire village and family, and then when her took control of her brother, made her brother kill her parents and then also try and kill her. And then her brother died, and then her brother got brought back to life, which he brought him back to life to then manipulate him and control him over and over and over again to make Songo think that he remembers her. But then he because what he does is he puts sacred jewel shards in his body to then control him with his power. And he just keeps on doing this to her. So she thinks that her brother remembers her, and then he's like, nope, just kidding, he's mine. Still mine. Oh, also still mine. and it just keeps
That's
going.
like a different type of evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's manipulation right there. It's just
It's always like trying to find someone to be like, hey, you hate this person, right? I'll
yeah.
do this and you'll get this. But there's still like he still wins in the end. Something.
Mm.
He's always trying to take over people's bodies. Gross.
Crazy. I don't like it. That's a solid pick. And then, like I said, the longevity goes a long way. Inuyasha, I don't know if people are putting it like high up, but it's one of those well-known animes that you got to check out. And I plan to one day. But yeah, like I think you're on point, EJ, with that little finger, that one that's in the back, having other people do all the mess up as he's just plotting and moving further and further up or closer to his goal. So it's good to hear that he never obtained it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Was it satisfying when he was finally defeated? Was it like a good defeat?
The way the anime kind of ended, they kind of rushed it at the end. So I wasn't very satisfied with the pacing and kind of like where they went with everything. It was kind of like, oh, okay, finally.
Yeah.
I guess. So
no, that happens sometimes. Yeah, when they got to rush to the end, you're
yeah,
wishing
I
the
think
person got dragged by horses, and then
Yeah, I read the mangas way better, which I started reading the manga, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, he's a petty human, man. He's just insecure and in love.
Just wanted to be loved.
You do for love of gems and demons.
I will say, before you get to yours, EJ, party foul on me.
Oh yeah, what the heck?
We didn't do our shot here. Super bad on me. The Mountain Dew shot. Love it.
Love it. I gotta get like an anime
I know, I need it.
shot glass.
I do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What are you guys drinking tonight? What do we got here? What do we got?
Little Crown Vanilla. It's a school night, so you know.
Crown Vanilla.
Yeah, I got
the Crown Vanilla.
just a White Claw. White Claw came out with, I don't know how new this is, but it said new at the store. It's like a tropical surf. Like Surf is the brand. So it's more like tropical stuff.
Like pineapple kind of stuff.
This one is Pomelo Smash.
No description of the flavor, just
Pomelos. I thought that was a place in California. I don't
it's not bad.
I live out
in a tree in South Carolina.
And then I just, gotta have tequila on the side because that's the only thing. Honestly, like as I've grown older, I think that's the only thing I can really take shots of anymore is silver tequila. That'd be good.
Wild.
I went the other direction. The older I got, I was like, later, Jose. We can't chill. I gotta chill.
Yeah, bro.
Well, I can take shots of whiskey, but that you're not supposed to do that. Like you're supposed to sip on it. I don't want to do that.
Right.
If I'm taking shots of whiskey, I'm trying to be like I'm 22 again, and I'm not trying to live that route. Well, it's really 25. I'm trying to be 25 again, and I'm not trying to be 25 anymore.
Yeah, we're just aging different, Jackie. Because like the further I got from my 20s, the more tequila affected my body.
Oh yeah,
negatively. And then whiskey was just like, I got you, baby. Over here with us old folks, I'm just like, yeah.
Let me warm your esophagus for you. Give you a nice hug.
Pause, Jackie. Anyways. All right, EJ, what you got? Who's bad?
All right, my number 3 is going to be Lord Ashram, the Black Knight from Record of Lotus Wars.
Yeah, I'm excited for your guys' picks because I actually don't know any of them.
So Lord Ashram, he was probably one of my first anime fantasy style bad guys that I mean, he's just the one that I measure most fantasy style anime by. Now he's called the Black Knight in Lotus Wars or the Record of Lotus Wars. He starts off as the right-hand man, and from the get-go, you could tell just by his presence and the way that everyone acts around him, as far as the bad guys and the good guys, that this man knows his shit. Okay, like him walking in just makes people back the fuck up. So he doesn't even have to draw a weapon. it's just his presence. So it reminded me of as a teenager watching this of, you know, like Vader, when Darth Vader comes in. Darth Vader comes in, everyone's like, you know, they're assholes. Or, oh, it's Vader. Ostrom kind of projects the same thing, but without the fanfare. Like, he doesn't talk much or anything in the beginning. He's the right hand to Emperor Beld, who's like the big bad guy in the very beginning of this series.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see much except for you're like, well, there's got to be a reason the big bad guy trusts this guy. So when the battles come, you see that he seems like he's very at home in the battle, and when he does come to fighting, it's like a precision deal because you got your group of heroes watching as the battle unfolds, and the first time you see Ostrom actually take offensive action is this huge siege on a castle where they're leading this army of monsters, okay? And the monsters are tearing apart these human soldiers, and you're just like, wow, these guys are terrible. But then the captain of the guard of the humans, and he's kind of like the one that befriended the heroes. He's like going out there and he's doing pretty good. So everyone's like, oh shit, you know, this guy knows his stuff. Ostrom takes that dude out with one hit, dude, and it's like one of those, you know, those old samurai deals where it's like the sword comes out and then it's back and the dude's like dead. I was like, damn, dude, and he doesn't. It's like no big deal, you know. This whole big battle's going on and fire shit, and he's just like, killed him. All right, so it's like then he's just standing on top of the castle, just looking out, and it's like the good guys have to escape this siege, and they're getting away. And Ostrom's just standing there. You know he can't see their asses because it's like the middle of the night.
Right.
You know, they're off. But he's just standing there, and it just gives that perception of like, this motherfucker's watching them leave. He's just like staring at them as they go, you know. And the main good guy, who's Parn, which is like the worst fighter ever in the beginning of the story. And he's looking up at Ostrom because he idolized that captain who just got smoked. And he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to get him back. Ostrom's just, I mean, yeah, like that. He's like, these fools aren't on my level. You know, they can be badasses if they want. They aren't on my level. So as the story progresses, Ostrom starts stepping up in the game. I mean, all these monsters and everything nearby him, they all show a sense of reverence for him. Like, they know they don't want to mess with him. A bigger battle happens later, and eventually Lord Ostrom becomes the top of the enemy. Okay, and I was really torn with him as a bad guy because in the thing you like him at the same time. It's like he's not a black and white bad guy so much as, hey, he's just on the opposite side than these guys. You know what I mean? And as it goes on, he's kind of like how you kind of end up rooting for someone like Magneto. You're like, oh, Magneto's dope, man. You know, I root for him. It's the same kind of thing.
But Magneto technically switched sides, though. He doesn't actually switch sides, right?
No, he doesn't. So in the story later on, it's almost as he drops away from the focus of trying to rule Lodos. Lodos is the land that the game or the story is set on. Okay. So yeah, in the very end, he decides that is not as important to him as the life of this one dark elf female that he kind of grows fond of.
Ooh, see? Men and women.
So
it's love.
Yeah. And it shows that he's not all dark, you know, inside, because he ends up appreciating everything that this woman is to him, and she takes a priority over. That's his boss at first, is Beld. But and that's the dark elf I was talking about. She's like always got it back. And eventually in the story, she ends up becoming they become closer and closer to the point where she becomes more important to him towards the end than defeating the good guys. So he kind of takes a back seat towards the very end. And when they face the final evil, he's involved, but he is not the final evil. But I just picked him because I felt like he represents the type of villain I like, where they're not just black and white, and it's not so easy to define them as, you know, he comes from a noble family and everything. If you read his back information, and probably in the manga it goes even deeper, but it doesn't. He doesn't have anything to dry. Like you're like, oh, cut and dry. This is what made him evil. You know what I mean? More
Yeah.
so than it's like he grew up here with these people, and this is his, his deal. It's not like he hates them for any other reason. He's trying to unite Lodos, the continent that the story's on. So are the other people. So, but I like the fact that I picked him because his presence and his precision impressed me. I like the fact that he can come in there without anything drawn, and everyone knows the shit just got real just for him showing up. A look from him makes everyone else go, "Oh shit!" If he draws his sword, it's on. So I thought that was always impressive, and I kind of measure all my medium ranked bad guys that way, like the ones that could be an anti-hero, but
Yeah.
he's
not technically an anti-hero, right? Like he's just trying to gain the land for himself.
Exactly. So they're all just trying to rule this land, and it all goes back to this particular land of Lodos in the series.
Yep.
Was torn apart when the gods fought. It was a huge war between the gods of light and the gods of dark, and it split this land in half. Well, the goal of both sides of this is to reunite it. The light side wants to reunite it under their vision. The dark side wants to reunite it under their vision.
Okay, he wanted to create like a dark utopia, basically, where him and his woman are just...
Yeah, him and his woman are, making little dark elves and, whatever. But
it's a family.
But the thing is, I always felt like it reminded me of the type of villains that I like, where they're thinkers, their presence is there.
There's actually some personality too with it.
Yeah, he's not just a boasting kind of guy, or I'm huge and I'm a badass, or he's I'm powering up. He's not anything like that. He is driven, he's intelligent, but he's also reserved, and it kind of exudes discipline. Like you're like, this guy has a goal, and I think he can actually get there. You know what I mean? When you're watching all these other players kind of come and go, and other leaders, all the other leaders kind of die off during the story, except for him and Lord Cashew, which the guy's name's Lord Cashew.
Yeah, that's funny. I was about to say, like the nut.
Come on, dog. So, I mean, you're going up against Lord Ostrom. Come on, man. So, Lord Ostrom, he's just been a big influence on me, and I feel like if anyone watches it, they made a secondary series to follow Record of Lodoss Wars, which kind of hints towards him in it, and kind of has nods towards him and the Dark Elf. But they
have a video game too, right?
I think so.
I think that's what sounds familiar to me. There's like a video game for it.
But the second series is like a loosely connected to Record of Lodoss Wars. So it doesn't make a lot of sense because it shows Ostrom and shows some of the other characters, but the timing doesn't seem to match up. You know how sometimes when they have a series and it takes off and people like it a lot, and then they want to bring parts of it back. I don't think they made a good plan with that. But if they ever bring anything back as far as along those fantasy lines with those characters, I hope that he gets another shot, because once again, as far as 90s anime, he's one of the best villains. I can't say villains as much as like just an antagonist.
Yeah.
He's not driven by evil as far as it is. Like the evil character is more magically involved in doing things, and you'll see that in the story. They don't have a physical form of their own. It's kind of like evil as an essence, but he doesn't give into that either. He has his own goals. He won't serve that evil. So he's an interesting, like I said, he's very interesting. He's got layers like Shrek, like a big onion. So Lord Ostrom the onion, the black onion. Yeah. I like it.
Well done.
Black Shrek.
Yeah, black Shrek, black onion. I don't know, whatever he is. He's got layers, man. And
layers. Ogres have layers.
I mean, that dark elf's all like knocking swords out of the air and all backing him up and shit. Plus, it didn't help. It helped that she was super hot. You're like, damn. I wish I was Lord Ostrom.
So, like,
that's what I got.
There's no like real animosity, like you said, he's not driven by like a hatred for the protagonist or anything. It's just him.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand when you were like, it's not real like a antagonist, but like,
Yeah, he's not evil per se, but he's just like, this is what I want, and I'm going to do whatever I have to get there.
to
You know
get
what I mean?
because
And
there's a greater evil. He's
yeah,
just
there's a greater evil in the story. He's
right.
sort of like the secondary villain, but more so, he's like the antithesis of Parn, the main
Ooh, I like
hero.
that word.
Yeah, Parn wants to be that good, but Parn hates him because he's so much better than Parn. Like, I mean, later on they do clash, but I mean, it just even shows you later in the story that Parn is still not on his level. When that shit comes to the end of the, you're like, yo, you're good, but you're not as good as you've gotten better. You're just not on his level. So
I've never heard of antithesis. That is
yeah, antithesis is like a nemesis, like your total opposite of
yeah.
you and the representation of
Interesting.
yeah. So anyway, that is my second pick or my first pick. What do you got, Willie?
so like the three that I picked. I'm just like, these are pretty heavy hitting
Yeah.
villains in their respected anime, and the commonality between them, the similarities between them is they are so intelligent, so 10 steps ahead of the protagonist. It's ridiculous. It's almost like a superpower they got, how smart they are, and their thirst for knowledge and the next level of power. Not like a level of power because they're so weak and they just need to be stronger, but because they just where they're at now, even though they know they're superior than everybody, they want to be more superior. You know,
Thirst for power is
that's
just
the next
insane.
highest being I can be. So I was trying to rack and stack them. I guess this choice was the easiest of the three. So my third villain on my list is Sasuke Aizen from Bleach. And if you know anything about Bleach, you know when you hear that name, most people will say he is broken, right? A typical phrase when people are like, "This dude just is so overpowered. He's too strong." The only way you can beat him is the MacGuffin at the end, where Ichigo just channels all his power, does one final attack, and loses his powers. But oh, never mind, he has his powers back. Future, so people are kind of upset about that. However,
Typical shonen.
when you sit there and you look at the backstory of Aizen, it is astronomical. All of the stuff he pulled off, like as a captain or as a member of the 13
Tie.
yep, squads that protect the Soul Society. For whatever reason, he put this plan into action to where he was a member of, I believe, the 5th squad, and at the time there was a captain on it, and he wanted that captain removed so he can take over the squad. So he framed him in order to get him exiled to the real world. And then Sosuke, or Aizen took his place there. Then he started manipulating other things. And sorry if this spoils anything from the first Bleach that came out in early 2000s, but if you haven't watched it by now, I don't know what to tell you, right? The main character, Ichigo, apparently his father is a soul reaper or, a Shinigami. His mother was a Quincy, and Aizen created a situation to where those two would meet, and then they would fall in love and end up having Ichigo. And the whole time Ichigo was a kid growing up, Aizen was monitoring the whole time. So as watching the
I'm
anime,
getting so spoiled right now. It's okay. As soon as you said that you were picking Sosuke, I was like, I just gotta suck it up.
This is all stuff from like the manga or whatnot. Like the anime doesn't get into that level, but
Yeah.
you're watching it.
Oh.
That
Well, because I remember the anime talks about his dad, and then there's something about his mom.
Yep.
Oh, actually, his mom being Quincy was before. No, that was still early. I think I do remember that part, but I don't remember him orchestrating that. I don't think I remember that being
Kingfisher, right? The one that killed his mom.
Yes.
That's why he was, because like
that's when. Yep. Okay, I do remember this. Okay, I'm not getting spoiled.
So yep, so his mom passed,
Yep.
but like Eisen was just monitoring because Eisen knew sooner or later he was going to play a part in this whole thing. And this is like 23D chess, and we're playing fucking
Yeah, dude,
cheats
this
and
guy
that
is
at this
insane.
Yeah.
point.
I mean, he's planning shit before the guy's even born.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna make you guys have a kid, and this kid is gonna do this and this and this. Like, he's seeing second, third, fourth order effects,
Yeah.
and people are still living in the present, right? So not only is he manipulating things in the world of the living, he's has things going on in Soul Society. He's playing the when you see a picture of him before he goes full like his transition to evil. He's wearing these glasses. He has like the nerd haircut. He's super kind to everybody. His lieutenant, who is like just enamored with him because he's so nice, so knowledgeable. And what was her name? Hinamori. Hinamori.
Hinamori.
Momo is what that. Momo
Momo.
Hinamori. So he does all of this stuff. Things are happening in the real world with Ichigo and what's the I want to say Ishida. That's the Quincy and Renji and Rukia. All that stuff's going on over there. Meanwhile, he's back here prepping everybody for the biggest oop to oop. His sword or his Zanpakuto has the ability, so it's called like the innate ability of everybody's sword. Is the what is it? Shinkai? I believe that's the thing before
Yeah,
it
it's just
Bankai.
it's like a
Yeah.
mirage,
Yep.
basically.
So it's total hallucination, right?
Yeah.
So he can make you see something and sense everything, and it just be totally fake. So one day they're waking up and they see his body impaled on a building, and everybody's like, "Who killed Eisen?" And like for the longest, people are like, "Eisen's dead." They have a whole funeral and everything. All of this to say, for whatever reason, the people that he wanted framed are framed, right? Because you got old buddy who runs the what did he keep calling him? The guy in the hat.
Oh,
Fucking
Kisuke.
Kisuke Urahara. Yep.
Yep.
So he frames him to get him taken away because he knows Kisuke is smart and Kisuke would figure this shit out, right? So he gets him sent to the real world and he plans all of this stuff. This whole execution of Rukia, because they feel Rukia has betrayed the law of Shinigami by giving her powers to Ichigo in the first episode. They're like, you gotta go. He knows that the only way to kill a Shinigami is this whole thing where this super ultra mega hot firebird, the ultimate source of power, is going to come out and tear her apart. And because inside of her, she has the what do you call it?
Tokyo or whatever.
This is
Can't
cube.
remember.
It's almost like the Omni Spark of
Yeah.
Like an essence of it all. Yeah.
And he needs that for the next phase of his plan. So the way he keeps manipulating people, he's turning Rukia and her big brother, Byakuya, against each other. And Byakuya is just like, the law is the law. I know you're my sister, but you broke it. You got to die.
Yeah.
And he's crying. Renji's upset. Like, how are you doing this to your sister? I'm going to fight you. He fucks
And then you think Byakuya is like this evil person, but he's not. And it's like,
so this whole civil war is going on in the Soul Society. And he's just like in the background because they think he's dead. He's just hiding. So this all happens. Ichigo comes and saves Rukia, learns his Bankai, does all of this stuff, fights Byakuya, does all of this. And everybody's like, all right, well, shit's cool now. And then Aizen shows up. And they're like, what the fuck is going on here? And Aizen's just like, that's cool. I'll take this. And at this point, Ichigo's the most powerful person in Soul Society because he's in his Bankai.
Doesn't make any sense.
So he just dashes up to Aizen, who hasn't even unleashed his Bankai or anything, goes to chop Aizen. Aizen just catches his sword with his hand and is just like, yeah, I'm leaving. Oh, and I'm taking these two captains with me because they was rolling with me the whole time. And you're just like, what is happening? Right? And that's like phase one. And then the number of people he just keeps betraying over and over, and the level of power he gets. He creates the Iran car over in Hector Mundo, and then he betrays them once they start figuring out what the hell is going on. They're trying to attack him, like the court guard captains, lieutenants, Rancor,
Everybody is after this man.
Vizards, like they all come together to fight this man, and he takes them out. No worries. Like they're using Bankai, Shinkai. He's like, I'm not even using Bankai. I'm just using the regular. Like I took my sword out the sheath, and it's over. The minute his sword comes out, game over. You're hypnotized. You don't know what's real, what's not. They're fighting him in their mind, and they're stabbing each other, and he's just watching it from afar. Like they're thinking they're killing Aizen, and then they come down. They're like bleeding and stuff, falling out the sky. He's just sitting there like. It's pathetic. And like I said, it gets to the point where Ichigo has to like obtain this superhuman power, takes him away. It's a dope beginning to the fight because he like face palms Aizen and takes him away. But I think that the awesome thing is like the fact they know they can't kill him, they have to seal him away. Like he's that strong. They can't kill
like
him. They
Gojo.
seal him away. Yeah. So they steal him away, and he does make a reappearance in Thousand Year Blood War, which is super dope when you see him again. They respect how strong he is to the point where, like, we're getting our ass kicked. Hey, Aizen, you want to come help us out real quick? But we're going to keep you chained up in this chair because we can't trust you. That's how powerful Aizen is. So the manipulation, the intelligence, and his whole thing was like, there's another form higher than Soul Reaper. And then he creates the Arankar. He's like, there's another form higher than that. I'm going to be the ultimate being. And it's that thirst of just wanting to just achieve the highest level of existence that keeps motivating him. So he's not inherently evil. He's just fucking curious to the point where he's willing to just ruin everybody else to get to where he wants.
And I mean, you have to, the level of patience and planning. And I mean, he was smart about it to where he never had to go against like them until he's ready to reveal that. You know, like you said, he had them hitting against each other on minor things just enough to break it up to where they weren't unified enough to be ready for when he was gonna reveal his ultimate, plan. They were still, I mean, they were still in the middle of their own conflict. So I mean, that was all played by him. So it does show the level of planning and stuff is like is super impressive.
Yeah, it is. He's up there, and you'll look at any top, like if you YouTube like top anime villains, like he's on everybody's list. Like probably not number one, but top 10.
He's top 10.
Somebody's talking about Aizen, 100%. Somebody's talking about Aizen.
Yes.
All right, Jackie, who's number 2 for you?
All right. Number 2 for me is going to be Madara. Okay, so for those that have watched Naruto Shippuden, know exactly who I'm talking about. And I'll give again a little bit of background on this guy and like why I chose him. But one thing that's interesting, and I forgot about it until I actually started doing research, is Madara is actually not referenced. And I don't know if he is in the manga, but he's not referenced at all in the first part of Naruto. So you don't even realize that this dude has been like day one villain since back in the day until Naruto Shippuden comes out, and it's like episode 1. That's the first time that the dude's ever mentioned. So episode 1 of Shippuden is when they finally see Sasuke after like a really long time, and Sasuke is exuding this like type of chakra, and the nine-tailed fox Kurama inside of Naruto is like, I've seen this chakra before. It looks like Madara's. And Naruto's like, who's that? Like, he's just like, doesn't know, because he's not really talked about. So a little bit of background from Madara. So Madara, back long time ago, before Konoha was even like created, which is the Leaf Village that most of our main characters come from in Naruto. He actually founded the village alongside what's known as the Senji clan, which includes the first and the second Hokage. But him and the first Hokage were best friends, and just like how I feel like most villains may or may not start off with besides Naraku, who's always just a bad fucking seed, he had a vision for peace. He wanted to, him and his best friend, Hashirama, wanted to create a village where there was like no death, no ninjas fighting each other, just have a village that was just peaceful and was like super great. But the problem is the Uchihas had a rivalry with the Senji clan, and a lot of the shinobi world wars, if you will, that were created were literally because of some of their fighting that happened between the Uchihas and the Senji. So like even though they were best friends, their clans like did not get along well. So it was really tough. But the Uchihas were feared because of their Sharingan, which is supposed to be a very super powerful eye power, if you will, that they develop from usually very traumatic or extreme events. And Madara, even before he got the Sharingan, was just bodying people, especially on the Senji clan. It was like the second Shinobi War, I think it was, or first Shinobi War. It was the first Shinobi War between Senjis and the Uchihas, and Madara was just fucking killing people, man. But that was also the start of like Madara's villain story, if you will. So Madara started growing up and realizing like peace was not happening. People just continuously like shunned his clan, said we don't care regardless of like how nice you guys are, what you're capable of. And even like his best friend's brother, who became the second Hokage, was also wary of them. So they like purposely put them in like charge of security of the village, so they were the police force, just to kind of keep an eye on them. Some people say that like maybe he did that in a way to help them, because by them being the police force might make them look better to the village. So there's some like conversations about maybe the second Hokage was actually, even though he's wary, like was actually good. Either way. But Madara ended up losing his brother Izuna by Tobirama, which is his best friend's brother. So that caused the whole thing. So that was super like a huge thing. And Madara's brother was like, here, I want you to take my eyes because you'll use them. And then that's when he ends up getting the Mangekyo Sharingan, which he was one of the first ones, I think, to actually get that. And it was one of the most powerful ones. And usually like what Mangekyo Sharingan is for any Uchiha is like usually it's a one person that's very important to you, either a lover, best friend, or someone that you either had to kill or died, or you receive the eyes, you get this special power, and then you get some special things with it. Well, now Madara's pissed, right? So now this happens. He just sees all this shit happening. And then he wants to be Hokage. The village is like, absolutely not. We don't trust you. You cannot be Hokage. He's like, fuck this. I'm out. And he deserts the village, which causes a huge thing. And then because he's so pissed off, he just keeps coming back and like picking fights with the village, which causes him to have to like fight his two friends, really his best friend, which then leads into one of the most ultimate fights between him and the first Hokage, where he ends up killing the first Hokage. And while a lot of people don't realize in Naruto, there's two statues, which is very prominent from like one of the battles, that is Hashirama and Madara. And they don't really explain that, I don't think, until Shippuden.
But you see them before Shippuden, right?
You don't know, like you see the statues, but they don't explain it though. They don't say it, so you don't know that Madara exists, which is crazy because
it was tied into prior to. I mean,
yes,
it was present. So I mean,
yes. So I say all this, right? So Madara then goes and he gets in this fight. Hashirama dies. What everyone thinks is that Madara also dies. Okay, but he doesn't. Okay, instead, this dude goes into hiding. All right. And then that's when he starts planning and he starts manipulating. So Madara ends up discovering some tablet, which I'm going to go into my honorable mention later of why this tablet's important. So just remember the tablet. But he discovers a tablet saying there's this thing called an infinite Tsukiyomi, and that's the only way that everyone will find peace. So now Madara is obsessed with this new idea of peace, but it means that everyone has to enter into this new world where basically like they have no lives. A lot of people are going to have to die, and a lot of people have to sacrifice in order to achieve this like ultimate goal that he has, which is just this infinite Tsukiyomi. There's a lot that goes into it. So the first step that he realizes he needs to do is he starts manipulating the fuck out of Obito Uchiha. Okay, which starts everything and affects every person in the show. It's where he takes a nine-tailed fox to then go after the Leaf Village, which then kills Naruto's parents, and then the fucking fox gets sealed into him, and then he ends up killing. I think one of the worst things that he does is he kills Rin, which is a character that is best friends with Kakashi and Obito. They lose their best friend. Kakashi's journey starts, and Obito's lost, and that's how Madara is able to manipulate him. He finds him. He's like, "Come with me, son. I'm going to show you the right way about what we're going to do and how we're going to fix all this," which directly starts influencing the Akatsuki, and the Akatsuki are a huge thing in the Shippuden realm, to start gathering all of the freaking tailed beasts that are in all these different hosts, so that way he can create this infinite Tsukiyomi. But the whole time that this is leading up, Madara is manipulating Obito to do all these things. Obito picks up a new persona known as Toby. No one knows this. Everyone also thinks that Obito's dead. Madara's chilling in this tree trunk until he dies a happy, peaceful death at the ripe age of fucking 95. Like, nothing's wrong. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna die now, but I'm gonna be back because what we talked about, you're gonna bring me back.
Just watching all of this shit happen, he's just like, I think I can die now.
And then he's like, you done yet? Nope.
Right. Okay, I'm ready.
Nope, not yet. You didn't bring them all together. You didn't start the fourth war. Okay. So then, like, this whole thing starts happening. You're seeing all the. You don't realize like how many events. This is now in Shippuden, where it's like becoming pretty. Like, you fast forward, like, after the village gets not destroyed, but attacked. You go through the whole thing of Naruto. You think that Orochimaru is it. That is the villain. Absolutely fucking not. Not even, like, scratching the surface. But the fourth Shinobi War ends up starting, and you think it's because of Obito, but really, it's Madara. The whole time, dude comes back to life. So many people die in this war. Characters that you fucking love, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking. Madara doesn't give a shit, because at the end of the day, he's gonna, like, cast this genjutsu, and that's it. We're all gonna be happy. Okay? The reason why I picked him as a villain is, yes, his whole, like, why I'm going down this path is peace. A lot of people think that they're doing the right things for peace, but he didn't care. Like, he went so far as to manipulate, like, kill other people around Obito to take this one person that he knew that he could just, like, hold on to do all of his bidding, even while he was dead, just waiting to, like, live, using what's known as this guy named Black Zetsu. We'll talk about him later at end credits, but so that way he can come back to life in this artificial body and then eventually, like, become a real body and then, like, do this genjutsu. But what pissed me off the most is this man just was like, okay, I'm going to sleep now. I'll be back. However many fucking years later. Like, he just sat chilling, waiting, drinking tea, talking to Obito about life, and then is like, I'm gonna die now. I'm happy. I'm good. And, like, nothing. Just didn't have to suffer, didn't have to do anything. Just let everyone else Obito do all of his bidding. Obito shouldered all of this on him, this poor man, right? And it's just like, and then when he changes sides at the end, Madara's like, cool, I really don't fucking need you anymore. And then just tosses him, and then Obito dies. And it's just one of the craziest fucking twists, but I don't think he's a true evil, like, being, like, where he's just, like, super petty, because I don't think he's petty. I think he just had, like, a huge goal where he just truly believed, because he tried to believe in, like, the peaceful of, like, no fighting, but it wasn't happening. His brother was taken from him. The Uchihas were still getting, like, scorn. And also, because of him, he indirectly, and I mean, like, yes, true, like, the whole Uchiha clan died because of, like, another person, Itachi, but Madara indirectly caused that. Because of the attack on the village that was caused by Madara manipulating Obito, everything was blamed on the Uchiha clan, and that's where the plan started. And then Danzo was also saying some shit with that. That's where the plan was going to start, to exterminate the whole fucking clan. So that, like, it started because of him. And so, yes, a lot of people will be like, well, he didn't really do it. If it wasn't for him, they probably would have been alive still. A lot of people would have been alive still.
Yep.
He started this years ago, before the Village. This man was doing shit like as the Village like got first created. It was before Naruto's time. The man has been like, yeah.
I gravitate to villains that are that developed and that methodical with their stuff, you know, because while you're watching Naruto, you're thinking, oh, this is the bad guy. Oh no, this is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the bad guy. And then when you get later into Shippuden, you're like, you were behind all, like these were all dominoes that were falling in place for this.
Yes.
Like, and when Madara showed up, you were just like, oh yeah, you that dude. Because my man was summoning, like if you played Final Fantasy, you know, when they summon Meteor, you're just like, bro, shit,
oh yeah.
it's about to be 9,999.
That's it. Everyone's dead.
And then like he summoned it, and they, you know, all the ninjas came together, all the Hokages from all the villages.
Yes.
All of their fucking, you know, fucking they held it back. They're like, whoo. And Madara's like, that's cool. What about if I summon another one? And then another one. I'm like, Jesus
this
Lord.
Dude had plan after plan after plan. It's just, dude, a lot of people talk shit on Naruto sometimes, but I think it's one of the like craziest, like the way that they went with that plot line and how it turned out and everything.
Well, I think Naruto's strength too is that they have so many characters, and it's all interweaved so much that every conflict is bringing in someone that might be one of your favorites. Kind of like, you know, like Dragon Ball Z. Okay, you got your mainstays in Dragon Ball Z, but you always knew it's going to come down to Vegeta and Goku, whatever. But in Naruto, you've got so many, and it can pit people against each other, that, and then you see someone, you know, get defeated or someone die that you really like. But it's so many, they're weaved to like bonded with another character.
Dude,
so it's like
I think
all these
like
other characters get like influenced by the death of this one, or the battle between these two, the death of this one, and it actually it makes it feel more, I don't know, like every conflict seems more visceral. Like there's so much more behind it, because it's not just empty names fighting. You know, you end up liking individuals who aren't the main character, or could even be against the main character. So when you see this plot bring everyone to, you know, into this conflict, you're just like, wow, you know, so much to lose, so much emotion and stuff hanging on these characters.
Dude, the biggest notable death, and if you haven't watched the fucking show yet, like I don't know what to tell you, but the biggest notable death, two for me actually, but the biggest one for everyone is Neji. Like that was just, I was so mad. I actually, because this is when I was binge watching Shippuden, so when that happened, I didn't watch it for 48 hours. I was so unbelievably, I was pissed. Well, that, and I was pissed. You ever watch a show where one of like a character dies? You're like, how the fuck am I supposed to like watch the rest of the show? Like you just don't know. Like you're so mad with a character. Like, if you haven't watched Last of Us, I'm not gonna like spoil it, but like something happens in there, and I'm just telling you right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Have you not played the games?
No, I'm scared.
Well,
I'm scared. I'm scared to play the games. I can't play the games. I'm scared. Listen,
imagine if you played it, because
I played the first 20 minutes of the first one, and I couldn't handle it because they had to sneak in the building to like get one of the clickers, and like I couldn't do it. My heart is palpitating. I thought
I was gonna have to shut the game
scared.
off the first time I played it, because the intro, the history, and when his daughter died, I was like, yo man, I can't watch this. I can't play. I was like, yo, that's too dramatic.
Hi, Apple.
Hi, Apple.
She says hi. She's off to save lives.
Aw, good luck.
Good luck.
But yeah, I don't know.
I hope you save them.
I feel like that's stressful. You know, you gotta throw some positive luck her way. What do I say to that? Have a good one. I don't know.
All you got. Yeah,
believe it.
Enjoy your meal too. Like what?
But yeah, Madara is great, but I think what makes him the most villainous is just the fact that You just sat in that tree trunk and waited and died a nice, happy life, and you're like, it's okay. It's all gonna get taken care of for me.
I think that
Reach
that's what
ultimate
makes it
peace.
so bizarre or like hard to grasp is that his idea that it's going to end up all being peaceful was like a justification for whoever had to die. It didn't phase him because
He didn't care. He was going to
his
do whatever he
ideology
had to
is
do. Didn't matter
yeah.
who it was. Didn't
So
matter
that's
because at the end of the day, those sacrifices were minuscule compared to the greater plan.
yeah. It's like you can so compartmentalize the deaths of all these individuals you've known for your entire life, as long as it feeds into your ideology, your dream of this peaceful end.
Yeah.
So it's like that's pretty wicked, man.
Yeah. And like to Willie's point too, he talks about what he found that was similar with all of his. I found out what's similar in mine for my villains is they are like just professional gaslighters, dude. They fucking love the gaslighting life, man, and they're really good at it. Until they're not.
That emotional manipulation, because like you said,
It-
Obito and Kakashi and bro, just dragging that down to where you thought like when Obito goes up with the mask, you're like, oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then he does the jujitsu to reanimate fucking Madara, and you're like, this is Madara.
Yeah.
And they have the it's. I try to tell, but that's why Naruto is my shit. It gets a lot of shit because of all the fillers, man. But once you figure out which episodes,
once you cut the fillers, man, yeah, dude, it's
the fuck
boom,
on
boom, boom, boom,
action.
Yeah,
Total nonstop action out here. Okay, all right, Eric, what you got?
Keep talking, Eric. I gotta pee.
All right. Should I wait?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're on. Okay. So my next villain is Tetsuo from Akira.
Classic, vintage.
And the thing is like the reason I picked him is because you watch him become a villain. He's not a villain in the beginning.
Nope.
All of us have that one friend that may be just a little bit socially awkward or a little bit socially disconnected or nerdy that can't relate to people a lot and gets that level of frustration. So in this, Tetsuo is that guy. And from the very get-go, he can't, he's the kind of guy that can't really stand up for himself or anything. So you see this building, it's building on him. Yeah. It's frustration and anger and disappointment and guilt all building on him. And when the accident happens and he starts to slowly gain these abilities, which, I mean, to me are like energy absorbing and reality warping to a level of like instantaneous reality warping of matter and energy and the ability to absorb it all. It's almost like the limitations are only by his own mind. But you could tell like this evil energy that's becoming part of him is feeding on all those insecurities and guilt and whatever. So he slowly starts to separate from being Tetsuo in the beginning, who has friends and, cares about these other people. And then you notice he gets more and more driven towards this darkness. It's like you're watching the evolution of an individual with all this built up angst and hurt turn into this ultimate evil, even in the face of a friend who's been protecting him his whole life. And it comes down to this friend that he's known his whole life who kind of has always been there to protect him against bullies and whatnot. It comes down to a showdown between the two of them. And this evil is pulsating through Tetsuo. And Tetsuo has so much power. And there's multiple times, if you're watching, it shows how evil or the level of evil Tetsuo gets to. Because in the very beginning, he has the power to kill his buddy. Okay, he could. Even from the get-go when he first escapes. When he first escapes, he's still strong enough. I mean, you see him do things like destroying military equipment just like that. He could have killed his buddy, but he didn't. And then the next time he hurts him, but he doesn't kill him. But in the end, when their confrontation is like, this is the point where his friend's like, I'm going to stop him. I have to stop him. I know him, but Tetsuo's no longer the guy he remembers. he's now gone completely over. And it could be all this energy that he's absorbing, the matter and stuff that he's absorbing. You could see the pain in his body as his body starts to become more and more disfigured. It's almost like the journey through becoming evil shows in the transformation in his own body. Like in the very end, he's so twisted and far from what he was in the very beginning, which like mirrors his ascension to evil. And I mean, the very end, there is no saving Tetsuo, but it's like I said in the very beginning, he's not really a villain. He's just a kid who's been downtrodden his whole life.
His
He's
whole
not
life.
a tough guy. Yeah. But now, once he gets that power, he gets to a point where he's like, yo, fuck that. I'm not getting stepped on anymore. But then instead of it just being, I'm going to just stand up for myself, it starts to grow to I'm going to punish everyone else. I'm going to get even, and it just keeps getting darker and darker. And in the end, it's almost like his pain and the power that's surging through him has gotten to the point where Tetsuo can do nothing more than just, he has to release it and destroy things in order to almost appease that pain inside of him. And I just, like I said, Akira is a beautiful movie. I mean, from start to finish, we're talking back when they were still hand painting each frame. And this movie still stands to this day as being immaculate. Okay, the art is just the light, the tracing, like you could see it when they're riding their bikes through Neo Tokyo, and they're just like, you see the lights on their motorcycles and their cyber bikes, and it's like, it was so beautiful. But at the same time, it gets so visibly harsh and torturous when you're watching Tetsuo change through time. Like when he has to, he becomes, his arm gets entangled and becomes more so of the metal, and you see his flesh and the metal bonding together. And then as he's starting to grow, it's like you're watching this, all the matter that he's absorbing and energy he's absorbing is slowly ripping its way through him, becoming into this monstrosity. It's like an abomination, but it's all the evil that's just coming through him. I mean, I liked it because like I said, you're watching the total evolution of a normal person becoming the like personification of evil, and it gets worse as it goes on. But each step you get to see, Tetsuo become less human and more of this new entity that's the host of this energy, this dark energy from an unknown, origin of space or darkness. It's just in him. And I thought that they represented it so well, and just the like later as his body, the biological parts of his body just start consuming everything around him. It's almost like that's the only thing that's keeping, or the only thing that's driving him now is to just consume, almost like he wants to spread the pain that he's feeling to everything. So, like I said, Tetsuo is it's a beautiful movie. From the beginning. In the beginning, you're kind of thinking it's going to be some sort of just cyberpunk crime thing, but then as soon as the paranormal stuff kicks off, the psychic energy and everything going to the point of you're seeing these individuals that have the similar psychic powers, but they're like slightly changed or altered or disfigured humanoids, but Tetsuo is completely different. Even they seem shocked by it. The level of power surging through him shocks these beings who have always had this ability. So, I mean, I wanted to have one of my selections be someone that you could relate to in the beginning, because we've all seen that individual, know that individual. Maybe some of us have been that individual where, life has been hard on you and you've always been kind of under the boot, but he's always had that friend, or friends that have been there to try to kind of take care of him. But as he starts to become darker, he turns some of that anger and malintent, towards even those that have been there for him his whole life. That's when he's no longer Tetsuo that they knew. So I thought it was a brilliant display of the total realization of normal to villain. So that's why I picked.
Yeah. That's a good pick by you. And looking at looking at him in the movie, it's he was just you're looking at the crew he's rolling with, like he was looked at like the runt. You know what I'm saying? Of the group, you know.
Yeah.
His whole life kind of just looked down upon, he rolled with, the group and everything, but you can kind of see now that he has this power, he's just like almost I don't want to say Napoleon complex, but like all my life, this is how I was treated. Now I'm gonna show you. But then when he starts losing control of it and knowing that it's taking over him and he can't do anything about it, you start feeling for him because he doesn't want it to get to the point of where it's getting to, but he can't control it at that point. So it's like when you're watching the movie, and if you haven't seen it, Akira yet, like this, it's I think you could any streaming thing at this point, you could just check it out, rent it for like $2, watch it, whatever.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
It's an amazing movie,
And it's
like
referenced in also so
pop
much in our
culture,
culture.
pop
Yes.
Yeah.
culture, like it
Like real like videos, other animes, just I think
yeah,
Kanye like references Akira a lot.
and stronger video, all of that stuff. But again, like you said, it's one of those where you watch it and you're like, I understand why he feels the way he feels. I understand, hey, you got a taste of this power. Now people can't look down on you anymore. And you could
Yeah.
tell like the minute he put that cape on, it's like now I'm in charge. Now I can call the shots. The first time in his life, I can call the shots. I can tell you guys what's up, because somebody who's been downtrodden his whole life, you give him this little bit of power. Like, what do you expect him to do? Like, there's people in life that just feel like they're just the middleman, the low guy, the stepping stone for people being in CEO positions and people getting promoted off the work you do. You can relate to this guy. Like, if I get the chance, not to say to do the stuff he did with those powers, but if I had the chance to like position myself to get above
Yeah.
those that stepped on my back to get where they're at, I would do that. And that's kind of what Tetsu's doing. So
Yeah.
a
I know you're
relatable.
absolutely right. It's like at first it's he's just like, now I can take care of you, or now I'm the big dog, and but then as he uses the powers and it starts to corrupt him more, and he's going through more changes, you're right, he starts to show off like, I'm the big dog now, and it starts to like totally consume him, where in the beginning it was just like, oh cool, I can do this, I'm the cool guy of the group now. But then
Yeah.
as it grows, it's no longer I'm the cool guy of the group, he just wants everyone to get the fuck away. He's like, I just want them all to die. I want them all to suffer like I suffer. And
Yeah.
it's terrible. But yeah, I think that he's a the whole movie and him are a great representation and a huge influence on a lot of cyberpunk or dystopian future
Yeah.
animes, even to today. And a lot of the characters I see, you see the opposite effect. Like as far as like Dan to Dan, you got Okarun reminds me of Tetsuo in the very beginning. Like the kid who's just not the tough guy.
Outcast.
Yeah, he's kind of like the low guy on a totem pole. But instead, when he starts to become empowered, though, his comes in a sense that he wants to help and protect. So maybe Tetsuo was corrupted by whatever he faced as a young man, and it just came to fruition. But regardless, the transformation is you see it played out, and it's beautiful.
Do you think
And
it
horrible.
do you think if he wasn't as emotionally unstable as he was, because he's a teenager, right? So
Yeah.
his brain
Yeah.
is still developing. So even
Mhm.
his ability to still like understand, and yes, he understands right from wrong, but he's still a teenager, as a child, understanding the consequence, like the real world consequences of power. Do you think if he actually, let's say he's like a 30-year-old that experiences power, but he wasn't emotionally unstable and he like thought more about the power, do you think it still would have gone the way that it went?
Me, I would say because I've read some pieces where they say it's like a mental, not a mental disorder, but the inferiority complex that he had his
Yeah.
whole life. Like no matter how old he got, he always was going to be looked at as less than the people around him, right?
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
based on his height, his attitude, his behavior and stuff. And I mean, you see, I don't get political, but like people still do roll off of ego. So the minute you get some kind of power, and we see it in the country today, people get in a certain position, get a certain power, they feel they can do certain things without consequence. I think the same would have happened. I don't know if the relationship between him and oh shit, what's the
I gotta look real quick. I keep forgetting this
what's
old boy's
homeboy's
name.
name?
Yeah, I was like looking up some
Good
stuff.
guy's name. The fucking
It's
his
the thug,
name.
but it's his friend.
Uh shit. I'm sorry guys. Like it's been so long since I saw
Kanata, right? Or Kanata. Kanata.
yeah. Okay, yeah. If that relationship throughout the 20s and possibly 30s, like you were talking about, Jackie, if that would have changed it, more time with him and Kanata growing up and maturing and looking at him and being able to provide some advice. But I think just I don't know.
It's tough
I don't know.
because
I think he still would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Because like the powers just take control over him. It's not like he's always able to control them. Like
Yeah.
so
Right, yeah.
the
he
latent
starts
thing
to go
that happened
wild. Yeah.
after the accident, they took him to the lab and then awakened all the powers in him. And
Yeah.
like I don't think he ever had time to like hone them and control them. Like if he
Or even
was
think about it.
yeah. So like just anybody who just I don't care what age you are, I feel like if you just woke up and you realize you had this kind of power, like without being able to take the time to hone it and control it, almost like an X-Men, like if Rogue just never knew her power, she's just fucking everybody
Yeah.
here,
Well, that's why, yeah, before too, in X-Men, like we go to the timeline change. She actually has her powers. She kept them, whereas in the original, she was like, I can't do this anymore. Like yeah.
I want to get
Yeah.
this shot, get rid of these powers.
And I mean, I know this is kind of the darker look at it, but when you think about a lot of these high school situations, especially the ones where kids end up turning to violence or bringing violence to school, a lot of it's the same thing. The kid was
That's what I was thinking about. That's why I was like,
turmoil in their life. They can't see beyond it. And it could be because they're at a teenage mind. They think everything is right now. Tetsuo's, it probably might be the same way. Like, this is the whole world. They can't see that in 5 years, no one's going to give a shit about the ninth grade. But those kids that like terrible as it is, it's kind of like the Columbine kids. They felt empowered when they got their guns and they were out shooting and stuff. They felt powerful and probably some level of stress relief when they were out doing that. So then they immaturely looked at and kind of equate the two together. And the reason why I feel like they come to the realization too late is a lot of these individuals who do terrible things after being stepped on for so long, they end up turning on themselves in the end. And it's kind of the same thing with Akira. In the end, he's so far gone, it's almost as if the power turns on himself because he's become, there's nothing of Tetsuo left.
Yeah, it's just
just a monstrosity. And and I kind of look at it like it's a good question you brought up, Jackie, because like if you look at like this is totally out there, but in the Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan, okay, you could kind of say he's on the same level as Tetsuo. Okay, he could do almost anything, but he even gets to a certain point where he goes off to another planet just to contemplate things because he's so far beyond the power that we can comprehend on this level. So I think no matter what, with unlimited power and it all-consuming power, there is no eventuality where you're going to have a normal life again.
With great power comes great responsibilities.
But I mean,
Spider-Man's uncle wasn't there for him.
Yeah, they had no Uncle Ben. But I mean, you're talking about guys who can, rewrite reality in front of you.
Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan, I think like he was aware and more mature and
exactly. Yeah,
Because the reason he left is because old buddy, again, he possibly like when it comes to comic villains, Osmodeus or whatever.
yeah. He's supposed to be super intelligent, but
He threw like he gave radiation poisoning to people that were around Dr. Manhattan to make Dr. Manhattan feel like he was
his power.
he was causing it. So that's why he went to Mars. Like
Mhm.
he was like, how do I get this smart dude away from here so I can do my plan? Oh, bloop, bloop, bloop. And Dr. Man's like, I don't want to kill people. I'm out of here. So that maturity level of like, I don't want to kill people. I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
Mars and do
Yeah,
my shit.
he had a much better grasp on it, but still,
his
when he's
power,
there,
yeah.
his grip on reality though starts to slip because
Yeah.
he's capable of creating his own universe
Yeah.
in his
And
mind.
he has the power to do
Yeah,
it
so
that like no one else has.
like he lost his connection even to his wife,
Yeah.
you know, because he is capable of being with her and not being with her at the same time. So technically, it's like she becomes an afterthought to him. So that's why I mean, like, even though you know he's a good man from the beginning and he's a mature man, eventually all unlimited power always leads to a point where you probably can't exist in a way that the rest of us can anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if Tetsuo could have ever been normal again.
That's a good pick, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
That's a good
What
pick.
you got for us?
So these two are probably like could be 1A, 1B.
Heck.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll a 10-sided die, and if it's even, I'm gonna talk about
Ooh.
and if it's
What's
odd,
up?
I'm gonna talk
That's
about it.
what's up.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah, got you too.
So okay. It's an 8. So even.
All right.
So there's an anime called Made in Abyss. If you
Mm.
haven't checked it out, I think season 1 should be on Prime. That's where I watched it at.
It is, yeah.
On High Dive. I don't know if season 2 has come to another streaming thing, but I watched season 2 over on High Dive. I haven't read the manga, so I'm pretty sure there's stuff that I'm missing. But backstory, I don't think it's been a anime that a lot of people talk about. So if you've seen it, you kind of already know what I'm getting to. But if you haven't, Cliff Notes. There's an island, and Abyss shows up out of nowhere. Just a hole going nobody knows how deep. So all the villages just end up rebuilding along the rim of the abyss, and then they become what is it, divers, I believe, or spelunkers. Kind of a business comes around where they're just like, let's go explore the abyss, right? So you have people that go down into the abyss to check it out, see what's going on. And unfortunately, they figured out there's a curse in the abyss, right? For every level you go down, you get some kind of effects, right? So in the first layer, let me see what they're called first. Delvers. Okay, delvers is what it's called. That's the profession. So you go down there, find some rare shit, bring it back up to the top, and you're just like, you sell it, you deliver it, all of that stuff. That's how you get like renowned. So the first layer, the curse of the abyss, is you get mild dizziness, nausea. Second layer, intense nausea, headaches, numbness. So continue. It goes down to like the 5th layer, I believe, and then there's layers after that. But each layer progressively gets worse, right? You go down there, and if you try to come up, that's when the curse starts fucking with you, right? Or intensifies, right? So if you're down in the 4th layer and try to come back up, this shit fucks with you, right? Now there's people who adapt well to it, and they go further and further into the abyss and come up, and then you rank up. So the way it ranks up is the type of whistle you have. I don't have it in front of me, but the guy I'm talking about is Bondrude. So apparently, according to this wiki site, there's 7 layers to this stuff. So Bondrude is a white whistle. That's the highest level. That's the epitome. That's like they're looking at you as like the best of the best when it comes to delving into the abyss, right? This dude, before becoming a delver, was a criminal on the surface. So he was kind of almost banished to the abyss. Uh, but he was able to adapt to the lifestyle. And this guy's mind, um, he's one of those guys that just wants to obtain the most knowledge about something that is unknown to most people. So the abyss happens. He starts getting into it, learning more and more, and wants to know more and more. He wants to understand this at a level that other people are just like, I didn't. This is gee whiz knowledge, but okay,
Hmm.
He wants to be one with the abyss, essentially, to the point where the further he goes, more equipment he needs, the more money he needs to get better stuff to go further into it. He starts finding random plants and things in the abyss, create certain drugs, certain illegal things, sell them on the black market up on the top, get money to get stuff to go further. Fast forward, he is on the fifth level of the abyss, and the fifth level of the abyss is loss of all senses, confusion, and self-harm. Like you hallucinate, you harm yourself, all of this stuff. He is there so long, he adapts to it, builds a fort. Like it's legit like a city. It's called I forget what it's called, but he has a whole fort, the idle front. So it's like it started out as a small like little checkpoint for those who are delving. You can check in there, get like supplies and stuff. He turned that shit into a whole fort. Research on point. All the artifacts he finds as he gets deeper and deeper, he incorporates it into his gear. This guy is on a level to where he finds an artifact, and I'm not going to name them all. A certain artifact that grants him the ability to transfer his consciousness into whatever body puts on a helmet that he puts on. Like, so if example, the helmet that he has on this one body, if that body dies, one of the other bodies, he has a name for him. I forget off the top of my head. Will come, pick up the helmet, put it on themselves, and then his consciousness would be in there. So that would be the new Bondrew, right?
How does he get the body to do that? That doesn't have the helmet.
Because they're just naturally like if he like they're just driven. Like if his consciousness is not in a body, like a body will go pick it up and put it on.
Oh.
So he has, I think, several of them. I think they're called like Umbru hands or something like that.
Oh, they're just random bodies he's created, basically.
Yeah, so he gets dead bodies and he's just like he endues some of his consciousness in them and they follow him around.
Oh.
It's a click. Like so
It's a click.
I swear to God. And he's so like this is where now I'm gonna start talking about why he's up there for me. So the village up at the top, full of orphan children because a lot of parents are like, I'm gonna go on this thing, get some stuff, get some money. This is how I support my family. Parents don't come back. A lot of orphan children. He comes up, gets the orphan children, transports them down to his fort, and runs experiments on them. Right?
At level 5?
Yes. So you can go down there, right? So it's when you come up where shit starts fucking with you.
Oh, okay,
right?
so that level 5 where you lose sets. I've never seen the show, so
Right.
I've been wanting to watch it because of how interesting people say
Right.
that it is and how fucked up it is.
Right.
Because me and Steve have been wanting to watch fucked up shows lately. So, well, we're just interested in better. Like, I was like, I love shonen and shoujo, but I'm looking for a plot line that's just like, what is going?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So when you get to that level, you don't actually lose your sense of whatever until you leave.
No, like, so I don't like. It doesn't show him transporting them down there. You just see like there's kids down there with him, and he explains he gets them the orphans from the village up there. So that's kind of a plot hole, I guess. Like
maybe
he goes up, gets the kids, comes down, and the kids are killing, right? I want to see a show where That's almost how it came across.
I mean, that was basically what the Promised Neverland was, and then they fucked it away on the anime. But I didn't read the manga. But anyway, sorry.
Right. So he gets these kids and they're hanging out, and God damn it. The wild part is these kids, when they're down there, he is treating them like his own daughters. He walks with them, teaches them stuff, feeds them, hangs out with them. They look at him as a father figure, and he uses that relationship to have them do certain things like, hey, come with me over here.
And he's experimenting on them.
Yep. So there are two individual that the anime and the manga focus on, right? So there are two little girls that come down, and Nanachi is one and Midi is the other, right? So they're hanging out, and Bonju is just like, hey, Midi, come holler at me. I want to show you something real quick. She's like, all right, Dad, cool. And Nanachi is kind of suspicious, because she knows he takes people to this room and they don't come back. So she's following her friend in there. And of course, she goes in there, and there's an experiment. There's a tube that he has her friend in Midi in. And Nanachi shows up, and he's like, well, you can go in this other tube. Boom. And, it's wild. So this tube descends the girls, the children, into the 6th level of the abyss, right?
Ooh.
And then brings them back up to the 5th level, which then kind of expedites the effects of the curse.
Because you experience the curse when you come back up a level, not when you go on the surface. It's as you go up levels.
So
he's basically using them as a way to figure out what the levels are.
Right.
That's
they're coming.
This is fucked up.
And Midi is like legit liquefying into something wild. And Nanachi, she's getting affected, but her physical appearance is changing. So she ends up looking like a rabbit hybrid type thing. But because they came back up, Midi, who's this little gelatin deformed girl, is now immortal. Like, they try to kill her to put her out of her misery, but she can't die. So
miserable and immortal.
Right. So
Nanachi, nothing more than meat with eyes.
Nanachi picks her up and they bounce, right? She's like, we're getting out of this place. This dude's crazy. I can't fuck with this guy no more, right? In the meantime, he has a younger girl that's almost his daughter. Like, they look at it like, this is his daughter, like on his shoulder, carries her everywhere, all of that.
Oh my gosh.
And so Nanachi and Midi, they go out, they're hiding out, and that's when the main characters come down. I forget their name. Reg is the kind of like I don't know if you've seen trailers for it, but he's like an android kind of humanoid that can that's helping the main character Rico make it through the abyss, right? So Rico and Reg come through. Rico is starting to feel some of the effects of the abyss because she's been down there so long. So like, the longer you're down there, it'll affect you. But like, if you try to go up, like I said, ascend back up to the top, it expedites the effect of the curse. So they've been down there for a while. She's feeling some effects. They've been attacked by random monsters down there. Reg has a arm cannon that has a powerful weapon. And she's like, can you please put my friend out of her misery? Right. So it's the only weapon that can knock her. So she does it. It's a sad episode. They go back to the fort and they see Bonju. Bonju is so intelligent. He treats everybody with the utmost respect, right? He's the dude. He's the kind of guy, like,
gaslighting, man.
He's the kind of guy where it's not even gaslighting. He's literally respectful of everybody.
Yeah.
He just wants to learn. Like, he will sacrifice somebody to learn something, and he'll be like, thank you for your sacrifice.
But that's gaslighting. He's like making them think they're doing something great, but it's really all for his own selfish needs.
But he, in his mind, he's thinking that the knowledge he's getting, he's going to send, and it's going to help people understand the abyss better.
It's going to unlock the abyss. That's all he's
But there's going to be no one left.
Jackie, now you're on it. Now you're on. So
No.
so like there's a whole thing, right? He takes Reg, like he sees what his capabilities are, and he's like, I want to experiment on you and see what the fuck's going on. Nanachi doesn't like that. She interrupts. Chaos, like conflict happens. Fast forward, they're just like Bonjour is not a good dude. He's experimenting on these kids, and they start fighting. So they start having this fight. It's him and his Umbra Hands. I believe that's the name of his crew. They're out there. He's fighting Reg, and Nanachi's just hiding out. So he's fighting Reg. Reg gets the best of him one time, and he dies. Right. One of the Umbra Head come and puts the helmet on. That's when you figure out, like, oh shit, this motherfucker is just like you can't get rid of him.
Mm.
He has cartridges that allow him to stay down there that long without the curse affecting him. The cartridges, oh my god, the cartridges are the organs, the life-sustaining organs from the kids that he brings down. He cuts them out of the kids, puts them into these cartridges, puts them into a suit that keep him sustained and fighting off the curse. So he just keeps bringing orphans down to harvest organs to put them in cartridges to keep him going. And you find
orphans has to be so.
You find that out because during the fight, and here's the wild part: every time he ejects a cartridge, right, he thanks the child organs, right? So he'll pop it out and be like, "Thank you," blah blah blah, right? So as he's doing the fight, he ejects a cartridge, and it's the little girl that he has on his shoulders and was like treating almost like a daughter. And the fucking people lose it, right? They're just like, this is fucking it, right? So it's the accumulation of all of that stuff. Like, you appreciate the curiosity, the wanting to understand the unknown, the getting the information to better understand this thing that just appeared in their town to better, I guess, possibly figure out a way to inhabit it. So, like,
why don't people just leave? Like, isn't there a world? I don't understand.
The thirst of knowledge, but how he's going, the risk he's willing to take.
No, about all these other people. Like, why don't they just go, let's go, like, start a new life somewhere else?
It's like when you watch it, you see kind of the island it's on, and then, like, bam, there's a hole. And like ocean all over the place. Like, if you want to try to do
I thought it was just like, in the middle of like Texas or some shit.
It's like an island, and bam, like a fucking abyss that goes down who knows how far.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the fact that this man, his thirst for knowledge is to the point where he's willing to risk the life of anybody to get it, especially kids, orphans, to treat them like, hey, I'm here to take care of you.
I'm your dad.
I'm your dad now. Hey, come in this room with me.
Call me Papa.
Call me Cartridge Dad.
That is, it's crazy. But he's so smart. Like, he finds these artifacts that nobody has seen. He studies them, learns their capabilities. Like, his suit is an artifact. Like, he found an artifact, turned it into a suit that allows him to do the things that he's doing. He found an artifact, he turned into a weapon that helps him, like, one-shot these monsters that are down here in the abyss. He finds the helmet that he's wearing is an artifact. Like, this shit, like, he shoots a light beam out of it that almost always hits its target. Like, until he fought Reggie, like, that was like, it's a one-shot kill. Like, if he shoots this shit, you're fucking done. But Reg, because he was like an android half robot, like, he was able to go toe for toe with him. Like, it was a drawn out fight. And the fact that this body is not really him. The white whistle that he has, the way it's formed, you have to provide some, like, rare material for them to form it out of. This dude sacrificed his own body to become the fucking white whistle that he has. And the suit is like, it's another body that has.
So he doesn't even actually exist, really. His conscious is the only thing that's existing at this point. That's crazy.
Bondrude is.
We have to watch this show, babe.
When you watch top anime villains list, like, this dude is like in everybody's top 3.
Yeah, when I was looking that up, like I was just it sucks because there's so many like anime that I was like, damn, I actually haven't seen a lot of this for these villains. Like I haven't seen Vinland Saga or Berserk and like all this stuff.
CJ, I was looking at your comments the whole time, but I was just trying to
Yeah, no.
trying to relay like how fucked up Bonju is, but how like you'll look at video essays and some people will say he is the most well-written villain in anime, which is
That's
like
crazy.
which is opinionated, right?
That's that's so frustrating that this anime is only available then on 2 different platforms. Like why is this not on like anything else?
Like I'm looking
Wait,
at
I'm dying like
Crunchyroll,
for Lazarus. I can't watch Lazarus because I don't have Tsunami or Adult Swim.
Do you have
Doesn't
HBO Max?
HBO
Or
Max?
Max or whatever? Oh,
Oh.
damn.
I
I'll
guess
give-
I'll have
hey.
to get it again.
Show, I'll give you my password.
No, but what you're describing reminds me of like the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the High Evolutionary. How he was all about knowledge and trying to create the perfect, like. But I mean, the things he would do, like the wipe out whole planets, like, oh, this one sucked, and he's just like, I'm like, so he's willing to do that in the pursuit of knowledge is just like a level of evil because it's almost like he doesn't consider himself on the same level as these, as other life. He is above them.
This
Well, yeah, because
dude,
once people have that power, I feel like it's just like because they know that they can do all these things and no one can stop them, it doesn't matter.
bro, this dude, like, he would get fucked up in a fight, right? And congratulate the person, like, oh, you were able to do this to me and like take notes. Like he
Oh,
gets fucked up in
crazy.
a fight. He's giving this dude congratulations on that. Like,
Well, let me
well.
pull out my
Yeah,
journal.
he is the
Huh.
third
Notes on that.
as
Put that
contaminated
away for another day.
for knowledge and learning and observing has contaminated this dude to the point where like anything that happens, he's like, oh, let me.
Yeah.
And that's how he got to the
I
point
put
where
out my field notes.
I'm just like, this dude is just
That's
insane.
crazy.
But yeah, that's Bondrew, number 2 for that's a crazy.
Wow, good pick.
Dan,
man.
that's your
Good
number
pick.
2. I can't wait to hear your number 1.
I know. That's pretty tough to top, man. That guy's like, I mean, sacrificing
The
orphans.
cheetah Dahmer, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's
rough,
crazy.
All right, Jackie.
Damn.
I'm saying that's a hard act.
Come with it, Jackie. It's time.
All right.
I know you got something for us. What you got, Jackie?
I do. So this one was a tough because again I had to look up like I know villains, but I was getting like stuck between the anti-hero and villain too, so I wanted to make sure I picked like a really good villain. And then obviously Jujutsu Kaisen new anime came out and I was like, dude, some crazy like villains actually have come out of this.
Yep.
So I had to think of who I wanted to pick. So my 2 that I couldn't decide on at first was Sukuna and Mahito. But then I did some more research and looked more into it, and I realized Sukuna was more like he's just strong, and he's just like, hey man, I have I'm just this powerful demon or sorry curse that like if anyone gets in my way, I'll do something, but he won't go out of his way to like do things out of amusement or just to fuck with people. Like that's not what he's going to do. Like he's going to be at the top, and if anyone tries to defy that, then he'll do something about it. So I decided not to pick him, and I went with Mahito. So it's funny because we'll watch so much anime, I'll forget some of the things that people do until I go back again and relive the experience that I had to experience with that. And I just realized how much I was like, I forgot how much I freaking hate this dude. So yes,
rekindled my hate.
for anyone that hasn't watched Jujutsu Kaisen, please do. It's like fantastic. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, there are curses that are born basically from humans in certain ways, like maybe from jealousy, hatred, fear, sexual desires, whatever the case is, like sinning type of like thoughts. A curse is going to be born from that. And depending on how strong that emotion is will depend on how strong that curse is going to be. So Mahito is considered a special grade curse, and he was basically created. Sorry, I want to make sure I don't butcher this. Basically, he was created from human hatred and fear of other humans, which all the humans put together on the earth, that's a lot of fear and hatred that there is, because there's a lot of people that fear what they don't understand, and there's a lot of people that hate also what they don't understand. So you just create this being that is just like living life of like, a lot of his questions all the time was like, do you think humans have a heart, or like a good heart? Because his whole entire like power is the ability to understand human souls, and then he can grasp onto those souls and manipulate them and do whatever he wants to them, which is so important because that is truly the essence of humans. And so the minute that you manipulate or fuck with anyone's soul like that, you are completely fucking with like who they are, what they are. And that goes into his power, which is the transfiguration curse, which is his ability to take a human and just completely transfigure their using their soul, that then changes their outward appearance, because supposedly your soul then reflects like who you are. And what he does is he transfigures them to show them like what they truly are, a bit born of hate and fear. Like, this is what you look like that makes you so hateful and fearful. But the thing with Mahito is he doesn't do it to try and be like, I'm going to show what bad people look like. He's like, this is fun. Let me find this person on the street. You look like you're having a great time enjoying coffee. Let me fuck up your life. And then I'm going to laugh about it and then ask you if you enjoyed that and then like kill you. Or I'm just going to let you go and then watch another human kill you, because it's fun to watch other humans continuously hate and fear each other. And his role starts because he gets so obsessed with the main character, Itadori Yuji, because he tries to transfigure his soul, but he can't, because Itadori has another cursed being inside of him that is way more powerful than Mahito, so he can't do anything about it. And because Mahito can't do it, he's like, I couldn't do that. This is awesome. How can I fuck up this guy's life and just like make him absolutely miserable? So he just like, that's like his whole goal. But he starts off with like another character. He basically manipulates him and like transfigures humans, and he says, look at what I can do. Look at his face. Isn't this funny? And he just like finds it absolutely hilarious to like do that.
Yeah.
And then most notably is the Shibuya arc. And that's when you truly see how evil Mahito is. And I haven't read the manga, so I know it gets worse. But in the Shibuya arc, Itadori obviously shows up, and Mahito finds out that he's there. And he's like, oh my gosh, Yuji, where are you? Let me show you what I can do. Starts off just like all these humans that are in this bubble. He just finds humans. Boom, touches their face. They're transfigured. Boom, touches their face. Yuji doesn't even realize that there are humans that are these cursed souls that he's killing until Mahito tells him about, yeah, this guy was just a yes, I think so. Yeah, in Shibuya arc, yes.
Yep.
And he's like, isn't it crazy? Him and his daughter were over here just hanging out, and now look at them, and he's just laughing manically. Is that how you say that word? And it's just like, and then the way that, because Mappa is so great at animating like people who just look psycho with their faces, and he's just like laughing, just grinning as he's like changing people. And he goes from like, he basically finds a subway, and he's like, Itadori, I'm gonna make sure that I really piss you off. So there's a bunch of humans that are just like on this subway train, and he decides he's gonna start from the beginning and just like put his hands out like this, basically high five people's faces as he's running down this subway, transfiguring them to the point where they're just exploding in body parts and blood everywhere as he's like running, and he's laughing as he's doing it, having so much fun. He's going through all these different levels in these buildings, just trying to find Itadori, telling him, "Look what I did! I painted this beautiful picture for you. Come see my artwork." And then it kills two characters. And it's one of the saddest deaths. Nanami goes a big one. Oh my gosh. And then he's laughing. And then he's
Did you see real quick, sorry to interrupt, the voice actor when he recorded that line?
Nanami?
Yeah, and he
Yes.
said that line, and the voice actor was like, "Well, my time here on the show is." The voice
Dude.
actor looks sad as he walks out of the booth because he's just like,
Bro.
Bro, I was so hurt.
He's like, "Itadori, it's your turn," and then he just explodes, and Itadori's just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like Maito goes, "Woohoo! Did you see that?" It's like, oh my god, and then he just runs, right? So now he's going to find his next victim, right? Next victim, Nobara. And I think the worst part, and because I rewatched the scene, and I was just like, Itadori's freaking out at this point, right? Like he's screaming. He's like, "Get away from her! Don't touch her! Nobara, watch out!" And he's like, "Watch this!" And then he just like goes like slaps her right in the face, and then it goes through a whole scene where it's like really sad. And she's like, "Hey, Itadori, tell everyone something." I can't remember. And she explodes.
You know,
And
the worst part of that was like Nobara landed a hit on him where you're like, "Fuck this up, Nobara." And Mahito was like, "Oh, she's fucking me up. Let me go run and heal up, and then I'm gonna come back and." Like he was almost out of here. That's the part that fucked me up. But go on, Jack. I'm sorry. I keep jumping in your shit.
No, you can, please. Like, because this guy is just so bad. Like, this is when I talk about petty, because I talked about petty for Naraku a little bit. This guy is the ultimate, like one of the pettiest humans. Which I did. I forgot. Like Nanami mentioned something before, like long time ago. Is like Mahito is like a child. He's just having fun. This is a playground to him. He doesn't see humans as anything. Like most cursed spirits don't, but he doesn't even like think. He's just like, this is fun. And that's where like the assumption is maybe he's like a younger spirit, and that's why. But he like after he does that to Nobara and Yuji's just like mortified, he's like, "Nice shot." I was like, oh my god. You're sitting here mortified.
It's a fucking game to him.
It's a whole game. And like not only that, like so he's not just stupid though. Like he's not just like chaotically doing whatever and then eventually he's just gonna die. Like he's also very cunning and intelligent as well. Like he's capable of those complex manipulation and strategic thinking for like the certain people he's looking for, what he's doing. He has a purpose for everything, and it's a lot of it's surrounded with Itadori.
You know, as you're describing it, you know what it reminds me of? The relationship between Joker and Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like Itadori is Mahito's Batman, and he's trying to get him to fucking spaz out, and he's doing everything to get him to react.
Yes.
That's like as you're explaining it, I'm just like, it's fucking, the comparison is right there.
Yes. And his like intentional targeting and tormenting Yuji all the while just smiling the whole time. Like I will say that even when I did watch the series and I was so pissed, I also had, and I hate using this word for people like this because they're so evil, an appreciation for just this type of villain that the creators created, because he's just like so well written.
Give me
and
some
just the perfect antagonist, I think. Like there's like some villains that are more, I think, like bigger in the grand scheme of the show, but Mahito just with his pettiness and just like it's a playground, just the way that he goes about, like he just is so excited to like watch humans switch, and he's just laughing and excited about it, and he loves seeing other people's reactions to the death and just keeps going to get a rise out of people, and is to the most extreme level you could ever think of. I just think he's the most evil person ever. Like I get it, he's a spirit, but like at the same time, like this dude is just it doesn't matter. Like there's no, yes, he was born evil, and that was one of the things like that I read. Like Sukuna chooses to be evil. Like that's his route. Like he's like, nope, I'm evil and I want to be evil. That's what I do. Mahito was born evil. And so that's where like some people are like, yeah, but like, you know, whatever. But again, like Mahito on the other hand is just like, yeah, I'm evil and now I'm going to take it to the next level and like have freaking fun with this. And it's, I don't know, like he is one of the most diabolical like everything about him is just like it's like when you have a sibling that like just won't freaking leave you alone because they just keep messing with you because they love it and they think it's annoying, and the more that you react the more they just want to keep going. That is who he is, and it's just so frustrating to like know that once he shows up you don't know what's going to happen or what he's going to do, but at the same time it keeps the show interesting. And
He sounds kind of like the kid with the magnifying glass over ants. Like he
yeah,
views life is just it's just for his
Plaything.
entertainment. Their torment is his entertainment because he doesn't view them as worth anything. They have no value. Humans are worthless. So
yeah,
to wipe them out is easy for him. It's nothing. But then to see the reaction on another human's face at the loss of that human,
yeah.
that's what brings him joy or
Do the
entertainment.
worst part too, and as I forget which episode this is, but it was in a Shibuya arc. Mahito, as soon as he sees Yuji too, he tries to kiss him. This man, ultimate disrespect on top of that. Like tries to kiss Itadori as a joke. So he's not even just like killing people, he's also just like, hi, and then he like pretends to like show him love, if you will, just to mess with him. Like, not only is Yuji like going through whatever psychological like trauma right now that he's going through, but then like Mahito just adds on to it, and he's just like, how much more can I like make you feel like you're just breaking apart the seams? And I think it's because Mahito can't do it, so he's just gonna keep figuring out how he can just make him like fall apart. But yeah, that's why I chose him as my number one. He's absolutely diabolical.
Good
He's
pick.
sick,
Yeah,
twisted,
definitely. Yeah.
just crazy, man.
His,
And it's just also on top of the amount of humans that he just decides to
yeah.
change and then thinks it's funny.
The levels of carnage just puts him up there. You know?
Yep. All right, EJ, number one for you. What you got?
All right, my number one comes from Ninja Scroll, and it's Lord Gemma. If you haven't seen Ninja Scroll, it's one of those pillars of anime. It really is. It's an amazing movie. It's set in a feudal period in Japan. It centers around swordsmen and ninjas. Basically, there's a lot of political turmoil in the powers that be in feudal Japan at the time. So different daimios and different landowners and lords all have their hands in trying to become the next big shogun. Okay, but there are overarching powers that are trying to stabilize most of Japan. Okay, in the very beginning, you're introduced to Jubei, who is the hero of the movie, and Jubei and some other great swordsmen and assassins and stuff were employed by one of these daimios for a job in the past. You see flashbacks through Jubei, and he used to work with Genma. Okay, and the two of them did this operation for the Lord, but as soon as the operation was over, they were told that the Lord wanted them to all kill each other, basically to keep this operation secret. No one walks out alive. All right. Well, Jubei happened to be the best at all of them. So when they do this fight, he tries very hard to talk them all out of it. He says, we don't need to do this. But they said, they go with the honor of, hey, my Lord's word is law. So he said, we kill each other, we kill each other. So these samurais had the fight. Jubei kills them all, and he kills Gemma. Okay, Gemma was one of the warriors there. All right. After this, Jubei kind of becomes a Ronin and just goes around doing odd jobs to try to take care of himself, but he can't get back into those settings because he's not supposed to be alive anymore. You don't want to draw the attention of the daimios that, hey, I told you guys to be dead. You're not dead. I'm going to make sure you are dead. Anyway, he's going around doing his thing. All right, and Jubei has been taking odd jobs helping people because he's a very, very accomplished swordsman. Okay. Techniques are very important in the Ninja Scroll movie and in the series and everything. As you read the manga and so forth, you start to learn techniques of the swordsman, techniques of the ninjas. Okay, techniques are like the special skills, like Naruto, how they learn different
Jitsus.
jitsus during their training and so forth, or they expand and get them. This is the same thing, but they're kind of like gifts. So Jubei has this his ability to use a sword is like unparalleled, to the point where he is able to draw the weapon, and the energy and focus of his attack from the blade can be shot off to a distance. Okay, so he can cut something you see like split stone at like 60 feet away without even touching it. Okay, by the force of his weapon, or his force of his chi through his weapon. Okay, anyway, he's very accomplished. He's going along, and during his travels, he's helping farmers and stuff. He ends up stumbling across a situation where one of the other characters, the main characters in this story, Kagero, who's a ninja, works for a different daimyo, is captured by one of the devils of Kimon. Okay, so they are like these top ninja assassins. Okay, there's the 6 devils work together, and they're working for this guy who wants to become the new Shadow Shogun. Okay, the Dark Shogun. Okay, he wants to rule from the shadows and become this mighty dude. So he's trying to take out all these other lords so he can become the top dog. So he hires these 6 assassins who all have special gifts. Okay, and as the movie starts, you see the one of the first conflicts that happen is you got a bunch of these ninjas with Kagero sent by a daimyo to investigate a dead village. All right, so they're going to find out what happened to all these people. Why are all these people dead all at once? They're not chopped up or anything. So these ninjas go on their mission. Kagero goes with them, and they're going through the forest, and they come across one warrior, okay, who is a huge guy. I mean, he's like massively, brute. He's got this double-sided sword that he spins and throws like a hurling, like a giant. It goes and just chops through everything. He annihilates this entire regiment of ninja in moments. Okay, they do everything they can to injure him, but this devil of Kimon named Tasai is able to turn his stone or his flesh to stone. So their ability to fight him is pointless. So he ends up defeating them. He captures Kagero, and he starts molesting her and wanting to kill her inside of a shrine. That's how terrible this Tasai dude is. Jubei just happens to be going along this same path and ends up at a shrine, because in feudal Japan, they could hang out at shrines, kind of like a safe haven. You could just stay the night, like over at a church. So he ends up walking in on Tasai in this shrine, raping Kagero. Okay, so he's like, hey, you should let her go. And Tasai's like, hey, piss off, man. Get out of my face. I'm doing my thing. This has nothing to do with you. Jubei's like, I'd like to, man, but I can't just leave watching you do this to this girl. He's like, if you don't leave, I'm going to kill you. So Jubei gets in a fight with this dude. And I mean, Jubei does his like freaking sword slash blast thing, and it just sparks off of his stone skin. And it's like, oh shit, this guy's fucking for real. So they have this huge fight. And during the fight, I mean, Jubei's getting his ass beat, because every time he hits him, it's not cutting him. And the guy, he's immensely strong. He's coming up, he's hitting Jubei, and Jubei's got a human physique. So it's like, these wounds are making him bleed from his mouth and everything. It's like, damn, I can't just catch a break with this dude. Eventually, spoiler alert, Kagero has an ability, a passive ability, that she poisons anyone who touches her, because she's the poison tester for the daimyo that she serves. Over the years, she's become toxic. So him molesting her and raping her, he ingested her poison. Tasai's skin starts to fall apart. Jubei kills him. Anyway, this draws the attention of the devils of Kimon. Okay, they want Jubei dead now too. All right. As the story develops, though, you're like, all these devils, they're badass gifts, man. They have techniques that, like the stone skin and the hurled weapon. One has electricity that they shoot with like cables that they wrap around someone, and then they electrocute him. Another one is disgusting. His back is got all these holes with these giant hornets that come out of it.
Oh, I don't like that.
And there's Shazima, the Shadow Warrior.
Oh, I hate
all of it
holes.
is they have like all these special gifts.
Oh.
Jubei and Kagero are like trying to survive and find out what the fuck is going on. You know. Meanwhile, you keep hearing Gemma brought up, and Jubei's like, "I killed that fool. I'm not worried about. I killed that fool." And this little old monk who's annoying the whole time keeps saying, "Oh, he learned a special technique. You know, a very coveted technique." And Jubei's like, "I don't care about technique. I took his head off his shoulders. That motherfucker's dead." Okay. But
Jubei's the main male
Jubei's
protagonist,
the main
right?
hero. And I mean, he is badass.
And Sugero, you said, is a female?
Sugero's the ninja girl. She's also very skilled. So the two of them are teaming up to find out what the fuck's going on. How do we stop these guys and this new shadow shogun, this dark shogun? Okay. So they're trying to figure that all out. Kagero keeps reporting back to her lord. Anyway, as the story develops, you start to meet Gemma. Okay. He's just a big dude. He wears a guard arm, which is this metal bracer thing that he wears all the way up his arm, but he is a master of martial arts. Okay. But what you learn is Gemma can change his body. And what the old man meant when he was telling Jubei is Gemma has control of every cell in his body. He has reached a technique level where when he's fighting, Jubei cuts one of his arms off, he picks it up and puts it back on. It comes back to it's normal.
Oh, so it's not like regeneration, but he's able to like.
So Jubei did chop his head off, and you see the scar on there. He just put it back on. Gemma can change his appearance too to anyone that he has sampled their flesh. He can look like them. So as the story goes on, you're seeing Gemma's been playing the background as different people. He was pretending to be Kagero's lord, the daimyo. That daimyo's been dead for a while. It all carries on to later on. You're seeing Gemma. Gemma is his level of brutality and ruthlessness is like, it's hard to imagine when you're watching. I mean,
I thought Ninja Scroll though was like, oh, am I thinking of a different one? A different show?
Well, it's only a movie, but there is a series that follows Jubei's travels and focuses on a couple other people. It's not nearly as good as the movie, but
I'm thinking of Ninja Kamui.
Oh yeah, I know.
This whole time I was thinking of Ninja Kamui for some reason, but sorry, keep going. I was like, I thought that
completely different.
Anyway,
yes, sorry. That's why I was confused. I was like, I thought, never mind.
The levels of evil for Gemma. I mean, like I described Tasai and what he did. He killed those people. He was raping that girl. Tasai is nothing in as far as evil compared to Gemma. Gemma is not only sleeping with other members of his team, like he's having affairs within his own team of these other devils.
Pretend to be a female too sometimes.
Exactly. He can be male or female. It's really disturbing, but I mean, there's a point in the movie where as the daimyo, pretending to be the daimyo, he's like having sex with some other woman. He is just the levels of debauchery and
I have so many shows I need to watch.
Using himself, like you see that he doesn't care about anything. And as the movie progresses and you go along, all the devils of Kimono keep fighting Jubei, and he keeps taking each one out. And it's getting down to just Gemma is left. Okay, Gemma don't even care. These are his people, and he doesn't care. And he ends up killing the very guy who hired him so that guy could become the Shadow Shogun or whatever. Gemma's like, that's a stupid dream, and he just fucking kills the dude. It's like the dream to rule Japan is stupid, and he just fucking kills him and all his men. And the final battle between Gemma and Jubei is so good because Gemma is so, I don't know what you call it, high on himself and just feeding into his own ego that he feels he can't be defeated, which technically he can't. Every cell of his body is able to reconstitute himself. So he's unstoppable. Jubei's cutting him to pieces. Jubei actually splits him from the top of his head or from his groin through the top of his head, splits him in half like a loaf of bread. He falls apart. He gets right back up. He's merged back together. So like, but you can tell he's taking his time. He enjoys brutalizing Jubei.
Dude, I'm like reading some Reddit stuff right now, and like
the reason I picked him is like the level of evil. When you watch, Gemma can kill a man with one hit. It shows it in other parts of the movie. Okay, but when he's fighting some of these guys, or especially when he's fighting Jubei, he's fighting to enjoy hurting him, like the pain inflicting on him, the death all around him. He's enjoying every moment of it, and he's so high on himself and his own invulnerability that you're just like so frustrated watching it. You're like, come on, Jubei, come on, you got to be able to kill it. Like Jubei's doing everything, man. Like, and to take to the worst part is Jubei's fighting him, and they're both gonna die. Basically, they're on a burning ship that's sinking. But I don't want to ruin the end but everybody's probably seen it. I don't want to throw a spoiler.
I haven't seen it, and I do want to watch it.
But if you get a chance, it's a 2-hour movie, and the bad guys in this movie are great. And just when you see how powerful each of these devils of Kimono are, to know that Gemma was their leader lets you know just how powerful he was.
Yeah.
Because Tasai, like I said, could turn to stone and could throw his hurling sword and just butcher dudes at like dozens at a time. The electrical guy could kill you without you even knowing he's there. There's a girl that causes explosions. There's the guy with the hornets. There's the shadow guy. All of them are bad. And then there's this blind swordsman who is better than Jubei. When they fight, it's one of the best fights in anime sword fighting wise.
Facts.
It is so awesome because the guys here
from the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, that fight between those two is brilliant. It's a blind swordsman and Jubei fighting in a bamboo forest. It is awesome.
I'm reading some of the Reddit stuff, and I think I know why I never watched some of this stuff, because it's 90s. So I get why, though I haven't, because one of the comments in the Reddit forum is, I borrowed this movie on VHS to watch for the first time. I was on lunch break at my retail shop, and I popped it in the break room television to watch a little. Totally was not expecting the monster rape scene to play for everyone in the room.
There's multiple adult scenes in that movie. There's multiple adult scenes.
That makes sense why I never watched it.
Yeah.
Only because I was so young when anime came out, I wasn't watching shit like that.
Plus, my favorite character in the whole thing is Kagero. Kagero's story is so sad but so wonderful.
That's a female?
Yeah, the female ninja. Because she's a poison tester, she's never known love. She can't touch another she can't kiss another man. You know,
because of her poison ability or whatever. That's crazy.
Her and Jubei start to have feelings for each other. Just before things could get better, Gemma kills her ass right in front of Jubei. It's like,
oh my god,
you're just so pissed off because you're like, she's finally, she's happy, she's found someone that likes her.
We'll be together forever.
Yeah, and he just kills her ass right there.
Petty. That's what men do. They're like, nope, don't want it, don't want to see it.
It's terrible. But like I said, there's a few adult scenes in the movie, and Gemma has his adult scene in the movie. But Gemma is a true bastard in every sense of the term when you watch it. I mean, the way he treats his own people, dude, it's just fucking foul.
I have to say that there's this other comment on the Reddit app that said, or Reddit forum that says, I too remember my first FAP.
Hey, what was I? How old was I? I was like probably like 10, 11 or something like that. This rolls out. Because my dad was in the anime. We didn't have the VHS, but my older brother, who at the time was like 12, 13, he knows a guy who knows a guy. He brought it home. Like it was the night of the Marine Corps ball. So my dad and mom are gone. He's like, bro, we're about to watch it. Life has changed.
I mean, the snake woman, Benesato, I think.
It is weird because you get hella uncomfortable watching this. Like,
I know you're just like
there, and he's there, and I'm just like, well, we both know how the scene is making us feel.
Yeah, you're just like, and it's one of those that that's the time when your parent walks in or something. You're just like, bro,
If it
No,
was
it's not. It's not like that.
if it was not for the Marine Corps ball being as long as it was,
Dude, I'm on the bathroom and I'm hearing what you're saying about you and your brother, and I'm dying laughing.
he's on one couch, I'm on the sofa, and we're watching. Like the action is dope. We're like, oh, look at the fucking head cut off, and then like sex starts happening. You're like,
It's like
So when you look at your brother, it's like, should we like go in another room separately?
Yeah,
Like, should we
do you
separate?
ever nobody watches. I'm hoping nobody watches porn with their brother.
I feel like we
But-
both need a moment, and then we can come back and
Yeah, you feel
reconvene.
like you're in that moment right there, and you're like, this is something that's not supposed to happen. This is a
Oh, that's funny,
this is
man.
are you going to use the bathroom first, or who's positive with you back,
Yeah.
or
Who's leaving first?
So anyway, if
staying
you
here?
get a chance though, check it out. Gemma is
Oh, that's funny.
great villain as far as like being.
Oh, I
he
gotta
has
watch
no
this movie, man.
redeeming qualities at all. I mean, there is nothing about this man. Even the women that he's sleeping with, he could give two shits about. He kills one of them. He doesn't care about the other. He is terrible to friends, foes, allies, everything. He does not care. So I mean, he is the villain with absolutely no loyalty, no honor at all, and it blows your mind because it's it's set in such an honor-based society, the feudal Japan, where these guys are willing to die because their lord said to die. They were going to kill each other because Lord said to, or I'm going to kill myself because I failed. And Gemma's out there like, I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm just killing all y'all and collecting this gold. It's like selfishness.
But that's probably realistically, like without the powers, what happened back in like feudal anything,
absolutely.
like back in the day, like
So
that's what
people
happened.
like him come out on top because they have nothing to anchor them. They have no weaknesses because they don't give a shit about anybody else. Everyone else is subject to dying for all I care, as long as I succeed. That's all he cared about.
As long as I plant my seed.
And the whole movie is really, I mean, the whole story is good. The mystery's good. Yeah, I don't know if he can plant seed, but if he does, good God, let's not see
He's planting kidney stones. That's what he's planting.
Yeah, he's planting something. But yeah, check it out if you get a chance, Jackie. I think you and Steven would like it. It's a little bit on the darker side, but it's it's
now, so
you're both adults.
I mean, we're adults now, so we can watch it. But yeah, that makes sense why I never watched it.
Yeah, but it is very violent, very violent. Lots of blood and gore.
I love the blood and gore though, always.
So you'll be with it. But that was my number one.
Damn, that was a good one.
Crap. So what do you got for us, Willie?
That was a good one.
So like I said, my last two were like 1A, 1B. So since I already talked about Bondrewd, this one is also probably in a lot of people's top 5 for villains. It is Griffith from Berserk. And I'm talking about Berserk 97, like hand-drawn, animated. There's even like a better done CGI version of it on Amazon Prime, or you can. It's actually on Crunchyroll. You just type the Golden Age.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Is that like it's just a remake? Is it the same story or
it's the story before the Berserk 2017 or 2016 that was all full CGI. So when you watch 2016, like Guts is already out there with the one arm, slashing people with the big sword and all of that stuff, looking for Griffith, right? The Golden Age is the kind of, you see Guts being the mercenary, raiding a town. The band of Hawks show up with Griffith and Casca and the rest of the crew, and they see Guts. They chase him down. Casca is like the right hand man to Griffith at the time, who's the leader of the band of Hawks. And
this guy looks like an angel.
Guts gets Guts gets the best of her. Griffith is just like, all right, let's square up. And if I beat you, you work with me. If not, you're on your way. Guts feeling himself like the mercenary who has never lost, right? Loses to Griffith, right? So Guts is like, fuck, I'll work for you. while working alongside Griffith, Guts kind of looks at up to him like, "Hey, this is a guy, somebody I want to be like, I aspire to be like." While Griffith looks at him as my perfect right hand. He's going to help me obtain the things I want to. Because when you look at Griffith's backstory, he was like a kid on the street in the back alley, comes across that magical egg, the bee or Behirits or
Spirits, yeah.
whatever, yeah, Behirits, and it's one of those things where you pick it up and you kind of have a thought like, "Hey, I want a kingdom of my own." The egg is just like, "Bet, I can get that for you, but you're gonna owe me, right?" Later down the line. So he's wearing this egg around his neck, going out, got this crew. They're kind of mercenaries for hire. They go out and do things for the highest bidder, conquering kingdoms for other people and stuff like that. Throughout their escapades, Casca, who was Griffith's right hand soldier, gets jealous a little bit of Guts becoming that. They kind of butt heads for a bit, but essentially they become fond of one another. Griffith sees that, he's not happy because he's like, it's almost depending on where you look at online, some people assume that Griffith kind of had a thing for Guts and whatnot and was jealous that Casca was moving in. But I forget where it was at, but at one point after they finished one battle, they're being celebrated, they're being honored, they're getting, they're eating the finest things, they're wearing the finest linens. It's just like Miles Morales in Spider-Man, like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. He wants to go and do his own thing so he can be looked at as an equal to Griffith rather than a follower.
Yeah.
So he starts leaving. The Band of Hawks shows up like, "Bro, you're not leaving us." He's like, "Bro, I swear to God, I'm out." And then Griffith's just like, 1v1 me, bro. And if you win, you get the bounce. And then Guts beats him, right? So Griffith doesn't like that. So the kingdom that they just fought for, like the king that just paid him and stuff, he has a daughter, Princess Charlotte. Griffith is like beside himself because he lost his ace, right? He's upset. The princess has shown interest in him throughout the night, right? So it's raining. Griffith shows up. He's like, "Yo, princess, you up?" Right? She's like, "All right, cool, come
2
in."
a.m. text, you up?
Yeah. So now it's he takes advantage of her for YouTube's algorithm, right? And as he's taking advantage of her, people are aware and they go get the king. And now Griffith is like thrown in this dungeon. Like they cut all his tendons and stuff. He can't move his joints. He's pretty much just malnourished, sitting in there with a helmet on his head. Like it is the dungeon of all dungeons, right? The Band of Hawks come across Guts again, and they're just like, "Guts, they got our boy." And Guts is like, "Not my boy Griff. Let's go save him." So they go raid the dungeon. They save him. They're trying to escape. I don't know. They're in the wagon. They hit a bump. Griffith flies out of Griffith like starts trying to move and starts trying to have relations with Casca, right? And Casca's like, "Yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, get off of me."
Yeah.
So he's upset. Like he's just looking. I don't know what he made that move for, but I think he's trying to do something to make Guts feel bad. Like I think he feels bad that Guts left him, so he's trying to do something to hurt Guts because Guts hurt him. Casca's like, "Get off me, bro." So they're trying to get away from the kingdom. He falls out of this wagon, or he's trying to drive the wagon with his I forget it. It's been a while since I've seen it. He falls out, rolls into the river, and apparently, like the egg that used to be around his neck that was taken from him, they just meet again, right? He's in there, he picks it up, and the eclipse happens, which is the trigger for the egg to activate, and then all the god hands show up, right? So they show up and they're just like, "It's your time to pay what you owe. You want to sacrifice something that's near and dear to you, we can make your dream come true." And his whole crew is there. The Band of Hawks is there. All his rider dies. He's like, "I'm gonna sacrifice my peoples," right? So his army, his band of people start dying one by one in the most grotesque way, right? and Guts is there. Guts is trying to fight all the demons and stuff that are the apostles are what they're called that are coming. And as he's fighting them off, he gets to where because he's trying to save Griffith. Like he doesn't know Griffith is wanting.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta save Griffith. By the time he gets to Griffith, he's already changed into his god hand form, Femto, I believe. And this is the part where people are just like, bro, this dude is wild. Yeah, Femto. As Guts gets to where Griffith is at after he's transformed, Casca is there. And Griffith sees Guts there. So Griffith is like, now I can cause him pain that he caused me. He starts taking advantage of Casca in front of Guts against her will. Guts is trying to get there. He's being held back and forced to watch this. Different positions are assumed during this. Like it is a pretty long it is a pretty long scene, and Guts is like, I gotta get, like, he tries to get there. An apostle bites his arm or something. His hand, is it his hand? And he cuts it off. Because he has like a metal hand or what. He cuts that off to get after Griffith. Griffith like finishes the job, whatever, bounces. Casca is like mentally traumatized, like to the point she doesn't have a memory. She can't talk.
Like
she
a vegetable.
yeah, pretty much brain dead at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Bounces and joins the rest of the God Hands to go with that whatever the next phase of his stuff. So I skipped over a lot of the battles and stuff. A lot of the things that Griffith and the Band of Hawks have went through to the point where they were a family. And for the fact that he's just like, now it's time to sacrifice something. Oh, the people that I've been ride or die with the last several years, you can have them, and they're gone.
Gosh.
Yeah.
The part that the piece de resistance for this is later on, Casca starts getting her, another part. So before that happened, like Casca and Guts, they make out, right? They figure out they like each other, they make out. Casca
again?
No. This is before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sacrifices them. So they make out. They figure hey, you like me, I like you too. Let's do it. All right, we do it. Casca gets pregnant. She's with child. She is with child while Griffith is doing what he's doing.
Oh.
So he taints their baby. So the baby is born and Guts rejects it. So the baby is a demon baby. And Guts is like, so the baby they would have had made out of love between those two is now a demon baby.
Does Casca reject the baby too?
Well, Casca is like
a vegetable.
She's not mentally there.
Well, what happens to the baby? Sorry, keep going. I gotta watch the show. Sorry, I'm so invested.
So it's
brutal, man.
There's a part where later on in the manga, there's a arc called the Fantasia Story arc, and Casca is just regaining her mind and her memories, right, and taking steps to return to normal. And your boy swoops in with his with his wings and scoops her up and takes her away, right? And Guts is just like, yeah.
It's so bad.
He just keeps following Guts. Like, how can I fuck with this dude more and more?
He just wants to torment him.
Like
man.
Guts is just like Casca's. All right, you're coming back. You're starting to remember what the fuck. Whoop. Oh, you feeling better? Let me go ahead and fuck you up again. So that's why, to me, like, when I'm looking at Bondrewd and Griffith, like, it's 1A, 1B, but I think it's rolled how it's supposed to roll. Like, when you watch all of the Golden Age and you see everything they've been through and you see the bond they all have, they are damn. And to the point where Guts leaves, but he's still so down with his crew. Like, they come to him like, we help us save Griffith. Like, you're our dude.
But the whole time, Griffith, it didn't matter. He was always
from the beginning. Griffith was ready to
whenever he got the opportunity to sacrifice something, he knew what he was going to sacrifice, his people. And he did.
And Guts wasn't a part of that, right? Because he decided to leave. So he got
building up to that.
He was
Like
there.
you see the things.
I know he's there, but since he left, is he included in that sacrifice still or no?
Yes.
Yeah. But he fought them off.
Leading up to that, through the golden age and stuff, or the golden period, whatever, golden age, I think, you see all the little signs of Griffith asking them to do things that are just atrocious. He asks Guts to go and murder a kid. And
the queen's son?
Yeah. It's all for his own benefit. It's all for his growth. From the beginning, when he got the egg, that's like a constant subconscious feeding into him that they're going to give him make all of his dreams come true. And his only focus is to rule everything. He wants to become the top.
So the egg wasn't really controlling him. He just
like
was so obsessed with what the egg could give him.
Yeah.
So really it was him though that was still making decisions. It's not like he was being subconsciously controlled.
Yeah, it was just the stuff he said. I mean, Casca's been by his side since the beginning, dude. Like, you could tell she was enamored with him. Not so much like she wanted to be with him, but she loved him out of respect. Like, she wanted him to be her king. You know, like, I will follow this man to the end of the world. And then for him to turn around and brutalize her like that was just, it's disgusting. I mean, Griffith is just the worst, dude. He's like straight up the worst. Yo, it's like, wow.
Like you know, you deploy and you see some shit with your peoples, right? Like you're bonded for life, and then it's just like, hey, if you give up some people, I can make it. Hey, all my people I roll.
Yeah, here, take them. Like, oh my god,
holy fuck, bro! Like, and that's the part where I'm just like, you know, you see some stuff, brother in arms, sister in arms, a level of respect as far as your talent on the field, because like he was known as like the Falcon of Light or something like he had
that's what I saw.
the most like his ability with the sword was only second to Guts at that point.
The White Falcon.
Yes, him and Guts hand in hand. Guts was more ruthless, like just energy. Like Griffith was
power, dude.
He was such a tactician, like on the battlefield, his battle plans, his strategy. He was taking over fortresses that were just known to everybody as being impenetrable. He was just like, oh, this is how we're going to get him. We're going to draw him out, do X, Y, and Z, get the king out here, kill the king. And and it was just so, he was on next level tactician, but he was also no slouch with the sword. Guts was also like, that's why they were both looking at each other like, this is my equal out here. Like, that's why Griffith didn't want him to leave, because Griffith was like, you're going to help me gain a kingdom, because that was his goal as a kid.
Guts is like unparalleled strength and drive.
Right.
And Griffith is unparalleled strategy and focus. I mean, that guy was like, it's almost like the egg gave him
they completed
the ability to like, I don't know, like he could plan things out, and it just always seemed to like, even though his army wasn't as great as the other armies, his plan would always circumvent that size difference or the defensive differences, and he'd win. It was like he couldn't lose for, that's, it's exactly. They play off each other perfectly. Like Willie said, that's a nail, hitting the nail on the head. They're like equals. They're the only equals in the battlefield. Maybe not the exact skills set that make them equal, but Griffith's mental ability.
Where one lacks, the other one picks
exactly. They're like,
because like there are battles where the other army sends out this behemoth of a motherfucker person.
Yeah.
Right. And Guts is the only motherfucker that has the tenacity and the brute strength.
Fearless. Yeah. He's ready to go. He's ready to.
And like Griffith is not that. Like if Griffith had time to think and figure out how to take him out, cool. But in the heat of the battle, like this dude's charging at Griffith. Here comes Guts. He's like, I got this dude. So the eclipse scene in that is like one of the most difficult things to watch.
It is.
when you're looking at it, because one, like just the what's happening, and then two, you put yourself in Guts' position, like, bro, like I
It's
get
a
it.
nightmare.
Like Griffith didn't need to do that. He was already a god hand. He could have
Yeah.
bounced, but he was just like, let me fuck with this guy real quick.
His
So-
vendetta against Casca and Guts was just like he couldn't stand the fact that there would be any happiness without him in it.
Yeah,
On round 2 now.
So it's crazy. Anyway, great
vicious.
pick.
But
Great.
yeah,
pick.
so
When I
he's-
saw you put that down, I was like, Willie got my favorite.
Yeah.
my
Well, like I
favorite.
said, when you guys put some of your villains down, I was like, oh, damn, I haven't seen any of these. I'm excited. This is gonna be interesting. I don't know. It's like for once, like there's animes like I have no idea about for any. Usually I have at least 75-80%. I'm like I watch, but like
the
this is
dope
like
thing is
25%.
two of EJ's were movies, so it's like a 2-hour watch, and you get the whole story.
Yeah.
Although EJ's always got like the 90s ones that like again like I watched some 90s, but I never watched the like true 90s gems that are more adult.
Right.
Because again, when I started watching anime, I was 8,
Yeah.
and I could never get away with watching any of that
They're,
on.
they're like the pick for Berserk and stuff. They're like the, I don't know, like I said, the foundation for a lot of anime, because
Yeah,
they were at a time when there wasn't so much popularity as far as like Shonen Jump and stuff. That
Yeah.
you occasionally got a movie that came out, or a couple part, like a series like Berserk, because Berserk's got fragments that you can catch. But there
Yeah.
wasn't like a constant steady flow like Bleach or Naruto or anything at the time. Inuyasha is probably the closest. When you picked Inuyasha, I was like, hey, you picked a one that was about the same time as those others. That
Yeah.
was probably like the One Piece of its time, because it had like 167 episodes, and
well,
everyone was like,
I
my
will say,
God.
well, kinda, because One Piece also came out back in the 90s, so One Piece was still very prominent.
Mhm.
But One Piece lore, when it first came out in the 90s, was not anything like it
Like what?
became in the 2000s. 2000s is where it really started hitting, whereas like there was anime in the 90s that was very much like I think even more better than when One Piece first started.
Yeah,
And
I don't
Inuyasha
even-
was great. Like it was one of those fantasy romances that everyone I think just truly loved. But I still think like if I had to put a top 10 for 90s, like if we ever did that, like a top 10 90s, I don't know if Inuyasha would make that top 10.
I'd have a hard time putting 10 series together for the 90s that were long running to the point where they'd be in comparison, because yeah, there you go, like Hellsing
Oh
is-
yeah,
is-
Dragon Ball Z for sure.
but none of them were. Hellsing wasn't nearly as long.
Oh yeah, Vampire Hunter D, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's a
But even
great
then, if I ever watched that, my mom was like, "What are you watching? Why this is so dark?" I was like,
Yeah, but it's
That's
excellent.
loud.
It's
Turn
excellent.
that off. Yeah.
"Yeah, I was the older sibling, so I had no other older sibling, to show me some bad shit."
Yeah, watch it
I
anyway.
I was the older sibling saying, "Watch this," like
Yeah,
to like
and I
my
can't
fucking
really
brothers.
think of maybe Rama Half and some of the others.
Yeah, but Ranma. So I know we're getting off topic a little bit, but Ranma Half is the anime, just like most '90s animes, at least in America, I think, steered so far away from the manga. I don't know if I would rank those,
Yeah,
but that's a discussion for a different time.
true, but great pick, man. Great pick. I love Griffith. I love to hate him because he's so evil.
He's so
He's
funny.
so pretty looking too.
That's another thing. It's like he was the evil angel, dude. He's like,
Why do the
When I
pretty
first watched
ones?
it-
The
when I
pretty ones
first
are always
watched
the
this,
worst.
I was like, oh, it's a broad, and it was like,
yeah,
oh,
I
no.
thought so too. That's why
Like-
when you're like,
Yeah, and some of the manga, it makes it look like it's a chick.
well, the thing is, it's like Willie
Gordon.
mentioned. I think he was either way. He was. That's why I think he did have love.
An unhealthy attachment. to
I'm about
Guts.
to ask because there was like something I was reading about Guts and Griffith's complex relationship. And
Yeah.
it seemed like maybe not on Guts' side, but Griffith might have also had his own fascination, maybe even leaning towards. I think there's theories.
romantic feelings for Guts.
Yeah, theories of I don't know about romantic, but maybe more like sexual desire too, of just wanting to conquer him too.
Yeah,
Not so much romantic.
Yeah, but he definitely didn't like when Casca and Guts found feelings for each other. That just it like pissed him off like worse than anything. Worse than the dungeon, dude. Worse than his treatment in the dungeon. Because he didn't wish the destruction of that castle and all those people and stuff as much as he wanted to destroy Guts and Casca.
Yep.
He wanted them to suffer. And it's like dirty. It's like,
and then they made us suffer with Berserk 26.
Yeah.
So it's bad. I just think they need to finish it with the hand drawn stuff they did with 97. Everything would be cool, but we still have the manga. So after you read Golden Age and the Black Swordsman arc, up until when Berserk,
The manga's still ongoing.
I don't think it is. I think
it ended.
Yeah, I think it ended. I don't know if they're trying to pick it back up. I gotta check. It's one of those mangas where I think
I thought the creator for Berserk, was it the creator that died for Berserk? Or what was that? What's that anime or show that I'm thinking?
Let me check.
Yeah, he died. The creator of Berserk died May 6, 2021. It was like a traumatic thing because Berserk didn't finish. That's what it was. Berserk wasn't done yet, I think, and he died, I thought, before it actually ended.
Because I think a lot of people were waiting to see if the Dark Sword or the Black Swordsman, if he was ever gonna assume the role like the Death Knight or the Skeletal Knight King or whatever his name. What was his name?
Oh.
Yeah, he died in 2021 at age of 54 and left his ongoing series Berserk unfinished.
So it's going on, but as it's continuing, they're crediting as the ongoing work of original work by Kentaro Miura.
So they're trying to go with what his vision basically was with it.
If he wrote it down somewhere, that's what they're doing, or they're just
yeah, because that's hard. If he didn't write it down somewhere, then you're just hoping you're going the direction.
I think that's what he wanted.
I think if you get talented people together, I think they can do the best that they can. Do a really good job.
There's so much love for that series. I'm sure there's people out there that know it front to back that could carry on.
Yeah, I just remember reading that. I was like, dang, that sucks, because I heard that show, everyone fucking
And everyone loves that. It's been, I know it. Everybody who's ever seen it has expressed that it's one of their favorites.
He died due to aortic dissection? What the frick is...
I have no idea.
That means something with his heart.
Serious condition where the inner layer of the aorta, I'm probably saying that wrong, sorry, aorta, the main artery carrying blood from the heart, tears, causing blood to flow between the layers. Yeah, that sucks. R.I.P. man. Thanks for giving this masterpiece and number one villain, man.
Number one villain for sure.
It sucks that he had to see 2016 Berserk before he left, though.
Yeah.
What did you do to my shit?
I mean, that one was, I don't know who was in charge and gave that the thumbs up to roll, but that was, it's almost blasphemous when you watch the original.
Is that the one where it's kind of CGI and it's bad and he fucks the monster?
It's not kind of CGI.
It's
all CGI.
Yeah, because I heard people talking shit about it, and there's a scene where Guts is having sex with a monster or something.
It's like the movie Delgo, but worse. Think of the worst computer animated movie you've seen.
Oh gosh.
And it's worse.
Do you remember the dog from Toy Story, the first one?
Yeah.
That had human eyeballs. That terrible ass CG. It's so bad. It's like it runs his legs, both his legs were like this.
It's just terrible. It's the intro is dope though. The opening by 9mm Parabellum is dope. But
they put effort
after the intro, the show starts. You're just like, fuck.
Even Guts movements and stuff in there, it just seems so blocky and just
like Minecraft.
Yeah,
don't watch Berserk 2016. So just watch the Golden Age and read the manga after that, and you'll be fine. But we're going on 3 hours.
We are.
But it was dope. That's what happens when there's 3 months or 3 weeks to a month in between our shows.
Yeah, man.
all the shit just gets built up, and we're just like, So this will probably be a 2-parter because we don't want anybody sitting down trying to listen to a 3-hour podcast. So expect part 1 and part 2 of this. But like I said, like when you talk about these villains, we sit there and we debate who's on our list, and it's usually people that we pick because they gravitate to a piece of us. There's something that they do that makes them stand out for others, because we could use All Might or Muzan or
Yeah.
like just easy picks. But sitting down, taking the time to really weigh these out, solid picks across the board. Well done.
Absolutely.
Can we say, I know we're going on 3 hours. We don't
Yes.
have to go into detail with our honorable mentions. Can we just say what they were and just quick sentence or so of why? Is that okay? Or
Yeah.
Go ahead.
my first honorable mention is a quick one, but then I'll go to my actual honorable mention. When I talked about Madara, I do want to say I think the ultimate villain for that, though, is actually Kaguya and Black Zetsu. Because the whole reason why Madara went on his killing spree, well, not killing spree, but his whole thing, is because Black Zetsu, which was designed by Kaguya, had him manipulate the Uchiha tablet that was incorrect, saying what peace actually would be. And so Madara was like, oh, that's what I want to do. And then ultimately, Madara was tricked at the end to then resurrect Kaguya, which I thought was crazy. I just didn't choose them because they're kind of like spirits and entities, and they didn't really like whatever. But my true honorable mention, which my funny one, was Frieza. Because I'm sorry, like I think it's funny because like Frieza's just a funny character to me, because Frieza just keeps coming back, and at this point Frieza's become a comical character, even like Super for me. But also when you do think about it, Frieza is like a true villain. Like Frieza's diabolical and fucking petty as hell, and just cares about like just Goku. It becomes his like soul. I want to be better than you, and that's why he keeps coming back, and that's why I think Frieza is just like deserves at least some recognition.
Okay. What you got, EJ? You got an honorable mention?
I do. Dracula from Castlevania, and the reasoning is I've loved him as a bad guy since the original Castlevania on Game Boy and black and white little. But I mean, they did an excellent job on Netflix for the Castlevania series, as in showing Dracula's dark origin and then him finding something to live for, and then that being taken away, and the depths of evil or devastation he was willing to wrought on everyone for that. Like, look, he found something that gave him peace, and then you guys took it away and burned her as a witch. He came back with a vengeance. I mean, that the level of murder that he was unleashing was.
The crazy part about that is, like, you have this omnipotent being who you
I
killed.
love these words we're using. Omnipotent.
My man shows up and he's just like, yo, you killed my wife. I could fuck you all up, but I'm giving you a year to get out of this town.
Yeah, 1 year.
And he bounced. And like people are just like, who the fuck's that guy? And then they just killed him for another year. And then when he comes back, he's like, y'all motherfuckers still here?
I know.
Well, wow.
Man, I'd be packing halfway through his feet.
Why is this happening to us? Like, you had a whole fucking year.
As soon as Dracula was like, I will come back in 1 year, before he finished that sentence, I'd be packing my shit, man, and loading up the donkey. I'd be moving to, like, what are you guys doing here?
You were aware of
We could have packed up and left in 3 days. Like, it's okay.
That night.
I know.
Hey, get kids. We out.
Yo, you live in the medieval times, man. What do you got? Like a basket and a fucking donkey?
I
Just
give it,
get your ass out of town, dude.
He said a year. We'll let the kids finish this year in school, and then we'll leave.
I don't want to pull my kids out of school.
No, I gotta wait. My daughter's getting married. Like, this guy's not for real.
You had a whole Christmas.
He'll understand.
Thanksgiving. Y'all were hanging around Thanksgiving, just chopping it up. Knowing that the clock was ticking.
They literally burned his wife on the stake.
And he still gave them a year. I'm a benevolent. Hey.
A year's a long time.
I know. They could have been on the other side of the
They're
planet by
stupid.
then.
I'm
man.
sorry. That's their fault. That is
Yep.
their fault.
And then he
That's
comes
not.
back, like I can imagine he just like he comes back, he's like, this town better be holy fuck.
I
They
could like.
gotta-
Do you imagine if you do like not the real part, but just do a parody? He comes back. He's
Right.
like, God.
like
He's
it was
just
a
going
whole
like
face,
this, and he's like, I'm so sick of this shit. Humans
a
are
whole
so
face,
dumb.
a whole face in the fire, like
I know. He took over the fire. It was just his face,
I told
bro.
these motherfuckers. I fucking told them. I don't know why they didn't. He's just like mumbling to himself.
Oh,
I
he goes-
fucking told him. As he's mumbling, he's just destroying house. I fucking told him. Why
He's
didn't
in
fucking
the
leave?
middle-
Now and he's just chopping heads as he's pissed and mumbling. He just keeps going. He's just like, I'm so mad. Why did I have to do this? I thought I could come back, be peaceful, but no. Now I gotta do.
And the thing is, you look around this
Ow, I
town,
hit
you're like,
my hand.
this place
this is your
shit.
fault.
It doesn't even look like a nice place to live. You're like,
That's
why
so
does-
funny. That's so
Like
funny,
the
man.
town, I understand. Like if he came back and the town flourished, like they
Yeah.
found gold or a mine, and we can't leave because look how profitable this shit looked just as ran down and the same, you know. And he comes back and they're just sitting there with like, oh shit, you came back? Yes, motherfucker, I told you.
I mean, the town looked like it hasn't
gotta
seen
die.
sunshine since the day it was created.
Oh
That
yeah,
place
it's
was,
been dark the whole
dirty and dark, and you're like,
Yeah, that's the part that had me
Yeah.
dying. Like I was watching it, like this man appeared in fire. Was like, you killed my wife. I could spaz out now, but you got a year to get out of here. And people are just like, oh god, oh.
I thought he meant right now.
I mean, now that we don't have to leave now.
yeah, he
right.
said,
If anyone could ever say like, who is the world's biggest procrastinator to ever exist? It'd be the
Right.
entire village of name X, like whatever that fucking
Dracula would
village is.
straight up say,
They're like, oh shit, I thought I had more time. I swear.
Collier, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway,
That's
that,
funny.
yeah.
the minute I see a face in fire,
Yeah.
you killed my
In
wife.
the church,
man.
bro. An
Get outta
inferno in the church with his face in it, and he's like, I'm gonna just kill you all in 1 year if you don't leave. And people are like,
Oh shit, I thought you meant tonight. Well, I mean, we have time. What you guys getting into? Like shit. You know?
what's the house worth on Zillow?
Oh man,
They're, like,
shit, you got a
checking it and
turkey?
shit.
Well, since before I'm about to fuck shit up because you didn't listen, let me have some of this shit.
Yeah.
Because you just went and cooked it, so I might as well not let it go to waste.
I just finished the deck on my shithole. I gotta stay. Like,
I
dude,
can't get rid of. I can't leave now.
Hey, by the way, like great meal, guys. You gotta die.
Yeah.
I told you.
This
Also,
wasn't a leap year, Dracula.
and I mean, he stayed
I thought we had one more day.
he stayed true to his word though, man. Because when he comes back and his monsters come, dude, they murder those people horribly.
Yes,
Horribly. It's awesome.
viciously. Oh man.
So who do you
that's
got?
cool.
Honorable mention, Willie. Honorable mention.
I got King Bradley from Full Metal.
Oh, dude, I have two more, but I'll let you go.
But he was Wrath. But the only reason I put him on here is like when he shows back up to the castle and they're just like, bro, you can't come the fuck in here. He's like, don't make me pull this sword out of my fucking seat.
Yeah, dude.
Like, who are you telling right now? Who are you
The
telling?
scene with the tank, and the tank starts going in reverse up the stairs, and my man is chasing the tank down.
Yeah.
I was like, sir,
You guys did you forget who you're talking to? Like,
Bro,
for
that's what-
real.
I would bring the video up to laugh, but YouTube's gonna be like, hey, get this shit the fuck up. out of
Yeah,
here.
dude. Especially it's Full Metal Alchemist. We're gonna
Yeah.
get flagged.
Go check that scene. Just type King Bradley versus a tank. They shoot the tank is shooting at him. He is not fucking around. And he starts fucking shit up. And the dude in the tank's like, let's get out of here. They go in reverse. They're in the castle going up the stairs, and like a tank is running from the dude with a sword.
You are a badass.
He's after them. Like he wants to kill, like he could kill everybody else. He's like, no, I want this fucking tank.
Me and this tank, we got problems.
Did you
Y'all
shoot
gotta
him?
come out
Now
sometime.
you gotta die. You know, he's chasing
Who brought this tank in the house? This is supposed to be outside. This tank gotta go.
The tank's just like, I ain't going back outside. You know who's outside?
I fucking told my son not to bring this shit in the house.
Not
It's-
going
it's
outside.
gotta
Not going
go.
out there.
Bro, he just had
Salim.
an eye patch and a fucking sword and just destroyed the whole army. But I was thinking about Father, but I'm just like,
I did too. I thought about Father.
but he's another guy who's like, I want to be the ultimate being. I want to
Yeah,
be. I
I didn't think he was.
I did enough people who wanted to be ultimate beings. Let me talk about the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Smoke.
But I think one thing we all did not discuss, and it was mentioned in the comments, is none of us talked about Shao Tucker.
Now, hear me out.
There's a reason why I didn't, and I want to hear your
Like, are
reason.
we talking about villain or just
Yeah,
or
that's what. Yeah, that's why I didn't bring him up.
a villain or a dick?
Yes.
Shao Tucker's a
Yeah.
dick.
He's more of an
Shao
enemy.
Tucker's a
not
piece of
necessarily
shit. He's a
villain.
piece. It depending which Full Metal Alchemist you watched. He was either a dick for 2 episodes or 6. It depends on which one you
Yeah.
watch.
That's
You
what-
either were like traumatized for 6 episodes or you got it real quick. So
I mean, being unlikable and being like a dick doesn't necessarily equate to villain. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because also like he wasn't a villain to everybody. He was just a piece of shit, and then he got arrested, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then he ended up killing himself or something or dying. Oh, he got killed. He got murdered.
I was really wrestling with Ryuk, man. I was going to bring up Ryuk from Death Note because if you go back and you think about it, from day one, that
even Light.
Yeah,
like either
Light
one.
shit on him, dude. Because
Yeah, but yeah,
he dropped that shit too light on the first day, and he's like, he knew in the end what the fuck was going to happen, but he waits through the whole thing just enjoying apples and watching people die, acting like he doesn't.
He's bored.
Oh, what's
yeah,
going
he's bored.
Killing that many people out of boredom is just fucking brutal, dude.
This dude knew a whole other Shinigami was gonna die.
Yeah, and he was for it. He was all for it. He's like, yeah.
Damn.
Fuck on, as long as I get that fun. But here's the thing with Ryuk. Now what? You just gonna accidentally drop it again?
Yeah, he can.
He's like, yeah, this is fun. Let me see if I can find another light.
He could go somewhere else in the world and drop it. You know, he could drop it to like a poverty-stricken place in Africa.
But you can kill a Shinigami by destroying the Death Note, right?
But you're not going to do that because you'll lose your power over killing whoever you want. That's the human psyche. Like, Ryuk knew no mortal human is going to resist the power to get rid of whoever you wanted just by writing their name.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's that noble.
Yeah. He had no doubt in his mind. Even before he dropped the Death Note, he had no doubt that even though Light was all, prim and proper and had it.
Well, even then, and when Light surprised him as many times, he still was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're dying at the end.
That's what I mean. I don't think Ryuk was ever really surprised. It was a game to him to keep to pump up Light's ego.
But the only reason why I did not pick Ryuk, and you can let me know if you think differently, is because he is a Shinigami of Death, and that's just his role. So I didn't think of him as a villain, only because like you knew even at the beginning like what he was about. There was no like surprise or anything. If anything, you can try to talk about Light being, because maybe he was an anti-hero initially, and then Light basically became a villain at the end.
Light was an anti-hero, and then he became corrupted by his power.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think Ryuk's evilness is the fact that none of those people were meant to die. See, as a Shinigami, his job is to take those like in a balance. It's supposed to be part of the world's function.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Another Shinigami is not supposed to die, but he did. All those people that Light killed were not part of the plan, and Ryuk was okay with it because it was entertaining.
Yeah, I always loved when like Light would go ham, and then you see Ryuk in the background, his just like smile in his eyes because he's like, "This is so much fun. This is so cool."
Bro,
and I'm like,
Light
"Oh God!"
would write in that Death Note with so much passion. That one scene where he's writing so hard and he goes like this and he like slides out of the chair, like back behind it. I'm like, bro, let me see that signature. Like, who the fuck are you trying to like? How bad do you hate that person? You're like, this motherfucker, he got it.
This ugly, fugly slut.
It's like,
You
"Come
just
dude."
like, bro, that John Hancock is serious. Like the fancier the
Dude.
name, the more drastic.
That is the like back in the day evil burn book of Mean Girls, except it
Oh.
is just more diabolical.
Oh,
Yeah.
that man, that's wild. But I had a good time tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun. I like this change of pace. Yeah, this is different. Talking about villains. This is sick. I had
I
so
like
much fun.
I like it. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Episode 14, top 3 villains across the board, and some fun little honorable mentions towards the end. If you're watching, throw your top 3 down there in the comments. I know we had some people in here. Shout out to Jen, CJ, Black, all the rest of the crew who tapped in with us live tonight. And next episode, we'll let you know what it is. Like, we're all busy. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. And we'll let you know when the next episode is and what the topic is, so you can go ahead and prep as well. But unless you guys have anything else to add, no?
Good to go.
Nah.
All right. As always, I'm the homie Mac, aka your boy. As always, joined by my man EJ and bookend by the fabulous Jackie. And this has been Eat the Cake Anime, and we'll catch you guys on the next time. In the meantime, check out some anime, and see you later. Peace.